ZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. It's Dak Tag Day. Everything we planned for this show, what the hell? We're going to do it anyway. RJ Ochoa, the original Rock the Mic champ, and from bloggingtheboys.com, in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. Interesting day after yesterday, and now that you've had a little bit of time to digest the contract that Dak Prescott agreed to yesterday, that broke in the middle of the show yesterday. We were all expecting today to get the tag, and then, the dance continues. RJ, and we'll get into it quite a bit today, but now that you've had a chance to think about what the Cowboys did, the commitment, and now the pressure that is on Dak Prescott, and the idea of betting on yourself, always bet on yourself, and you hear a lot of people say that. For Dak Prescott to do that and win, it's incredible.
So, I'm so happy, so over the moon. I've typed Dak's name like 8,000 times in the last 24 hours, and I could not be happier about it. This is it. Like, this is El Dorado. Like, welcome to the other side. Jason Derulo had a song all about this. This is what we've been hoping and wanting for and wishing for over the course of the last 2 years. I think Dak's story is incredible. I think people say the phrase, you can make a Disney movie out of it, way too often, but Dak's story is remarkable. And I think, like we have said forever, if only an NFL player, would leverage his ability, they could really make a lot of money. They could really kind of turn this whole thing upside down. Dak did that not only as like an NFL player, he did it as an NFL quarterback, and let alone he did it as the NFL quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys of all teams. And so, in the battle between the two sides, Dak Prescott won, but I think the Dallas Cowboys won. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL for the next 4 years, and their window is wide open to win a Super Bowl, and I think they're going to.
And you look at it, the Cowboys did botch this. They did cost themselves a lot of money. And I do think if you're Jerry and you're Steven, while it's hard to write a check like that, they feel like they took this as far as they could and got what they wanted out of it too, because essentially they've got their quarterback tied up for 5 years. It is costing them more, but they do have their quarterback for 5 years. And I think more importantly, they have their quarterback, and the pressure is going to be on Dak Prescott to get to that Super Bowl. You paid the man. You've got to do it. And when you get guys like Dan Orlovsky cracking an egg on his face this morning on Get Up, like running out of the back of the end zone when he was with the Detroit Lions. It was a great bit that he had ready to go. But he fumbled the bit. If you didn't see it, I'm sure it's all over Twitter and social media and everything. But he's got egg on his face, and he literally tried to break an egg on his face this morning on Get Up because he is surprised that the Cowboys caved and gave Dak that kind of money.
I think a lot of people are surprised. I think a lot of people didn't expect this would happen in a number of different ways. I think there are the people that doubted Dak Prescott and his ability and getting this contract based off of his own merits. And then I think there's the people like us that didn't think the Cowboys would do it, that didn't think the Cowboys were going to be wise enough. But this moment, this day that we have gotten to is inevitable. If you have a franchise quarterback, this moment is inevitable. You have to go through the run of having your quarterback be at the top of all of the graphics, all the Instagram posts, the biggest signing bonus ever, most money ever, highest guarantee. Like that has to happen. It's a rite of passage. It's part of being a quarterback. Is the next guy gets the next guy gets the next guy, and so I really am stunned. I still act.
I don't know if we lost RJ or if it was me that went bad, but he is so stunned. He became speechless there for a minute. Go ahead, you're back. Go ahead. Can you hear?
I'm back. Shout out to my phone and the duct tape that we're using to hold this production together. Yeah, can you hear me?
Only the best. We can hear you. Apparently, he can't hear us. But again, I mean, we'll get plenty into what happened with Dak Prescott, the pressure that is on Dak Prescott now versus some other quarterbacks that have signed mega deals in the past. The Cowboys have to go win, and they've got to go win a Super Bowl to justify the amount of money they paid him. But I tell you, with all the different stories that we've read, the press conference still set for tomorrow. Seeing the picture that Dak's brother Tad posted on social media yesterday, the embrace, the hug, and just seeing a guy that was a 4th-round pick. RJ, you mentioned the Disney story that it is, but seeing that picture of the brother, them embracing, them hugging, it does get you. You know what I mean? It's just one of those, like, we've got our quarterback. They've got generational, life-changing money now for their family.
Yeah, and Tad Prescott just had a baby boy, actually, posted on social media, I think over the weekend. So great time to be a member of the Prescott tribe. Certainly. I think, what I was saying before, the technical, what does Rob call them? The gremlins creeped in and kind of and stole my voice, is that I wrote something that's going to hit bloggingtheboys.com in about an hour. That's the magic of scheduling things ahead of time. I think, look, the Cowboys lost in this battle with Dak, but I think they deserve credit in that I know I've been saying since the season ended that this had to get done. That if you were really serious about being different, if you were really serious about contending, people like Emmitt Smith were out here saying, I don't know if the Cowboys are stalling this just to keep themselves in the news and stay relevant. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good look for your franchise and your organization. And so the fact that they beat the deadline, to me, it's not just that they got this done, because I think we both think it was possible they would have gotten it done between now if they had actually tagged him in July 15th. But the fact that they did, to me, shows that they are legitimately serious. They're serious about free agency. Maybe I'm being just a little bit too hopeful, but I think that it's a big step in the right direction for them as far as their roster building practices go.
Well, and you look at you get it done before free agency. You know exactly what you have. Jerry can do a contract like that with his knowledge of what the TV money is going to look like in the very near future. And you've got a plan. Mike McCarthy, you've got your quarterback in place. Now we got to put the pieces around him, a little shoring up on the offensive line, little help defensively, go score 30, 35 points a game. I mean, while they weren't necessarily winning while Dak was still there this year before the ankle snap, they were still scoring a ton of points. And that offense, has to get back on track. And again, that offense was scoring without two of their big-time offensive lines because of one Dak Prescott, who is a very, very rich man today. We'll talk a lot about Dak today. Les Miles got about $2 million today to leave Kansas. He got fired. It happened late last night on International Women's Day that Kansas decided to mutually part ways with Les Miles. Had about $8 million left on his contract, got just under $2 million as a buyout. But there's an Arkansas high school coach that is applying for the Kansas job, whose contract is kind of comical, but yet kind of genius. And again, this guy's been in the news before because he never punts. He always goes for it. He's that high school coach, wants to now be the coach at Kansas. As we mentioned, it is tag day in the NFL. A little surprising, some of the guys that did not get a tag, like an Aaron Jones, although Green Bay is going to do what they can to keep him. Other guys who, a team like the Saints, they don't have cap money, but yet they're tagging people. So we'll go over all of that. It's an injury update Tuesday. Dr. Eloy Ochoa will join us just after 6 o'clock. The Spurs are still in the news with the trade rumors involving Orlando. And, this is day 3 in the cycle. Now you got like Sam Amick, tweeting about the different rumors there. Pledge and I were having this conversation earlier, because Orlando wants a haul. I want to get rid of LaMarcus and Lonnie, and I'm good with that. But according to a lot of reports, Orlando wants a lot of good young talent. I wouldn't give up DeJounte and Derek White. So what's the walkaway point? I mean, because I know we talked about it yesterday. Everybody's available. There are no untouchables on this Spurs team. But are there? We'll get into that as well. 656 ESPN, 656-3776. But as we come back, The University of Texas did the Eyes of Texas report. Mixed reaction to what has come out of this report. We'll get into that. If you're a UT fan, I want your thoughts as well. 656 ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. You can also get us on Twitter. He is at RJ Ochoa. You can tweet at me at Jason Minix. Pledge is at I Am Pledger. What did you think of the Eyes report? We'll get into that next here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Game nights, the Blitz goes silver and black.
This is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. 30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Where are you headed for happy hour tonight? It better be Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks honors the happy hour the right way every day from 5 to 7. Everything you're looking for. But Fridays, it is turned up a bit more. They're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbons every Friday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Head over to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 to experience a lingerie costume party, paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. You know, Twin Peaks, they know what they're doing. You walk into a happy hour surrounded by each individual man cave views, spectacular mixologists making the finest drinks, your finest programs on every one of those televisions around you. We know that's all great, but why do we go? Well, it's easy. It's those scenic views.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled, and with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year, we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock Ontario.
Professional arena football is back in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League kicks off their inaugural season this Saturday, March 13th, against the North Texas Bulls. San Antonio Gunslingers football at the San Antonio Rose Palace, just off I-10 on Burning Stage Road. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com. Be a part of the action this Saturday for the Gunslingers' first game. Get your tickets now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com or check them out on Facebook.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian. I can vacuum your dog.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Here's football legend Howie Long for Skechers Arch Fit shoes.
Do you like comfort? Of course you do. Everyone does. But if you've never tried Arch Fit shoes from Skechers, you're missing out on next level comfort. Saying you like comfort but not trying Arch Fit is like saying you like Italian food but you've never tried pasta. You're missing out on the number one thing. Because with Arch Fit, Skechers created a whole new kind of comfort. They teamed up with podiatrists who used over 20 years of data to create a shoe that provides total foot and arch support for all-day comfort. Arch Fit distributes support across the arch no matter what foot type you have. You don't need an arch problem to love how they feel. And you say you have a passion for comfort but haven't tried them? That's like saying you're a sports fan but have never watched football. It makes no sense. So if you're the kind of person who claims to like comfort, stop what you're doing and try a pair of Arch Fit exclusively from Skechers. Then you'll finally understand true comfort.
See all the styles of comfortable, machine-washable Arch Fit shoes now at Skechers.com.
The Eyes of Texas report, done by the University of Texas, was released today, and it turns out, well, it was a master's class in PR crisis management and tightroping. When you read through it, for you UT alums out there, what did you guys think of the report? Honestly, I'm mixed about it. 656 ESPN, 656-3776. Welcome back to the Blitz. RJ Ochoa in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. The key takeaways from the report: no UT student is going to actually be forced to sing it, whether you're an athlete or you're in the band. So they're not going to force anybody to sing the song. No direct connection found to Robert E. Lee. All right. The song was first performed in 1903 in a minstrel show by white singers in blackface. However, the committee believes there was no racist intent. I don't know how you have those last two sentences together. But it is UT's way of saying, we're keeping our song. We understand the origins of the song, but we're not changing anything. It is. I don't know. As a UT fan, growing up, I'm not an alum, but I'm a fan of the school. I hear the song. I know what it means. To me, the background of it, I never thought about it in a way that was racist. But to say that there was no racist intent, yet it was performed with blackface going on, I think is a little contradictory. But that's part of the master's degree that they're offering up right now in crisis PR, trying to make everybody happy. Yep, we're covering all the bases here. Nobody's going to be forced to sing it, but we're still singing it.
I mean, I also think there's a bit of a contradiction in that, you don't have to sing it. We don't think it's offensive, but but you don't have to participate. I think again, just analyzing the school's position here, if there's no requirement, if there's no enforcing of it, it does feel like there must be some acknowledgement that it is offensive to some people, right? Like whoever that is. Otherwise, it would potentially be a requirement. I mean, it feels like trying to play both sides or stay on the middle of the fence, which is just doesn't work anymore. I look at it and you've got even, some UT officials, from what I saw on Twitter, they downplayed the story the other day that all these donors were making all these threats. And the president of UT said those aren't guys that are giving enough money that are driving the direction of the university. So, I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. So even downplayed, the feelings of some. But it is such a touchy subject because there are those that, like me, I've never looked at that song and thought, boy, this is racist. I can't believe that they are doing that. Or are you offended by it? And look, it's 2021. You're going to find somebody that can be offended by anything, by something. I've got some beer can chicken that I'm going to put on the grill in a little while, and I posted a photo of it. And it's beer can chicken. I'm using a cider beer that I don't know how long it's been in my fridge. I'm not going to drink it, but it's good for this. And somebody's like, oh, how do you use a cider beer for that? Well, it's not like you're even going to, you know what I mean? It's just there's always somebody. But I look at this report and wonder, as a non-UT alum, am I qualified to comment? I want to hear from UT alums, because you look at Twitter and the reaction is all over the place. Even though they took the time to put together this report, to investigate it, to do everything they said they were going to do back during football season, I don't know that they accomplished anything by it with the rulings that they had today. I also don't think that they accomplished anything in terms of ending or silencing or mitigating division, right? I mean, like, pick hypothetical tailgate, anywhere in Austin on a Saturday morning. There is debate about this. Like, by not picking a side, that's not the right way to term it, but by trying to ride the fence, you're leaving it to everybody else to just argue and bicker over it, and you're supposed to be the authority on this particular issue.
Well, and I think what they're ultimately saying is they're not going to change the school song, but they aren't going to force somebody that was offended by the school song to sing it. I never knew anybody was actually forced to sing it to begin with, and maybe that that might be a poor choice of words, or you might not be forced to sing it, but is your coach going to require you to stand there with your horns raised while everybody else is singing it and you're not? Or is the team going to walk off the field and leave Sam Ehlinger by himself? You see what I mean? I don't really know what was accomplished with the report coming out today. And again, I think you look at the facts and you've got the one sentence. Yep, it was, from this show in 1903, that might have been racist, but the song itself isn't.
I think I am fascinated to hear what UT alum have to say about this. And, I'm interested to hear what different ages have to say about this and different people of all walks of life. I mean, again, I have no connection to UT. And so, it isn't something that has, the song has never meant anything to me in any capacity. I've actually, my most vivid memories of the song aren't even with words. Like, they're just of the band playing it after touchdowns. You know what I mean? So, I'm only used to hearing the musical version of the song.
Well, and again, I think with, one of the lines in the report, the authors write, "We are pained and uncomfortable with this aspect of its history." And I think you can acknowledge the history and the origins in a certain way and say, that might have been then in 1903. Throughout time, it has become this. So the origins might be one thing, but the way we view it now is another. Acknowledge what it was and accept what it is now, what you believe it to be. And I think that would be a lot better than saying, yeah, nothing, the song itself is fine. Everything else that had to do with it, yeah, we're not proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, it is the ultimate riding of the fence. I'm surprised it took a report to produce this, this opinion. I mean, what is different from within this opinion from what they've been saying this entire time?
Well, they said they were going to look into it. And you remember when a lot of the UT football players had their list of demands on certain buildings with names changed. And I'm thinking that can happen because a lot of those buildings are named after people that wrote big checks and nobody really knows who they are anyway at this point. That's easy to do. I remember saying then, I think a lot of things that these athletes are asking for can be accomplished, but changing the school song, probably not. That's the one area. There's a lot of things in a negotiation, but there are some things that are just off the table. And changing a school song, because it means so much, it means something to so many people. You hear it, and like you said, I hear that song and I'm thinking touchdown. That's it. Nothing else crosses your mind. You hear that song after touchdowns and after wins, and you go from there. And is when you look at the history of our country, I think you went to A&M. I'm sure if you looked back at a lot of things at A&M, the actual origins of it make you go, yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, but over time we've all grown and learned, and things have changed from what they started at the turn of the century.
So the report says that nobody will be allowed to stand for it, right? What about?
You can stand for it. From what I understand, nobody's going to be forced to sing it.
That's what. Sorry. That's what I meant. Nobody's going to be forced to sing it. But here's another question. I don't know if this is within the report. Will band members be forced to play it? Is that like a prerequisite for being in the band that you have to play the song?
That's a great question. I'll look into that. We can all Google that in a little bit. It does say nobody's going to be forced to sing it. If you're in the band and say a trumpet player, at that point you're not singing, you're trumpeting, right? You're playing your instrument. I don't know if that's, that might be a little too in the weeds. It might be spelled out. If members of the band aren't willing to or don't want to play it, are they still going to be a part of the band? I would think that they would be. But you need the full band to be able to do it. It kind of reminds me, growing up in as a military brat, as an Army brat, and I know a lot of people had all kinds of different school experiences growing up. But I can remember even living in Germany, and I go into American schools, on base in Germany. But you have every race and religion when you grow up military. Your friends are everything. And if you had people that did not want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which happened a lot, they would stand but not participate. That was, I remember that, some people would want to sit, and no, you be respectful. You got to stand. But I just kind of vividly remember that. I'm getting a feeling it's going to be very similar in this case here at UT on the 40 acres with the Eyes of Texas. Be respectful, but you don't have to participate, and nobody's going to look at you weird if you don't.
Well, I feel like there were no questions answered. If any, there are more questions raised. So in that respect, this report feels like an overall failure.
Well, and again, they put together the report. They acknowledge the origins of the song, which are definitely racist, but the song itself is not, is what they're saying. If again, it is a tightrope that they are watching. It is a master's class in PR crisis management. The crisis management for the Cowboys is over because they got Dak Prescott signed. Jerry Jones doesn't have to go into a post-tag at deadline trying to figure out what's going to happen with his quarterback and get those questions. They was answered in a big way yesterday with a $160 million contract. But what does that mean now for the Dallas Cowboys? We'll get into it as we continue here on the Blitz. If you need your logo on gear, you need masks, you need to get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over there on San Pedro. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on masks, on shirts, on jackets, on caps. Sammy's Embroidery Club is the best. Sammy has all the big name brands. Nobody has better prices. He's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom on San Pedro. It's a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900, 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
What's up, San Antonio? It's March, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the biggest St. Paddy's Day party ever, Part 6. Chip Ingram here from the Root Pub and Angry Elephant, and let me tell you something. It's been one hell of a year, San Antonio, and even the governor agrees you've earned the right to celebrate. So we're going to throw an outdoor parking lot party with DJs, food trucks, and adult beverages as far as the eye can see. Wednesday, March 17th, doors open at 11 a.m. The Root Pub and Angry Elephant at the corner of Redland and 281. See you there.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $20 million for a back injury in a product liability case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. For a limited time, you can get a queen-size premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. You can adjust MyPillow's patented fill so you have the exact support you need regardless of your sleep position. It comes with a 10-year warranty. It's washable and dryable so it stays healthy, and it's 100% made in the USA. I'm also going to give you deep discounts on all my MyPillow products, including my Giza Dream bed sheets, my mattress toppers, bath towels, and so much more. That's $29.98 for a queen-size premium MyPillow, the lowest price ever, and deep discounts on all my MyPillow products.
Go to mypillow.com and click on the radio listeners square and use promo code SKY, S-K-Y, for this amazing special, or call 800-635-1825 and use promo code SKY.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all know the sound. It happens. Your phone. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless's new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection that covers those kinds of mishaps. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus more features, like 20 gigs of hotspot and 100 gigs of cloud storage, all on the best networks. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
See mobile protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save for driving safely. Save for driving less with pay-per-mile insurance. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. Savings based on early signing discount drive-bys and mile wise. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Dak Prescott got his deal done yesterday. Does that mean he has the most pressure on him going into next season more than any other player in the NFL? We're talking about it here on the Blitz. You know, with the pandemic still in full swing, many families are struggling financially. We've come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank to help set the table for 58,000 individuals a week. Join us and give what you can. Every dollar helps. Between now and March 19th, the ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing Drive to End Hunger, brought to you in part by Quarter Moon Heating and AC, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. Go to ESPNSA.com. Make a donation if you can. It is the Blitz. RJ Ochoa is in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. RJ, you know, about 23 hours ago, you know, we get all the news, you know, that it started to break, that the deal was done. Does the pressure for Dak Prescott change immediately? And I'm going to preface this and bring in James Pledger, our resident Houston Texan fan, because it seemed like last year, Deshaun Watson gets a contract, a massive, massive contract just in September. But it didn't feel like anything about him, his performance, his play, or the team expectations changed, right? The Cowboys signed Dak Prescott to this deal, and every morning show, whether you're flipping on Fox or ESPN or over on the NFL Network, we're all talking about the Cowboys have to go win a Super Bowl now. Is there more pressure on Dak Prescott than any other quarterback in the NFL?
Well, I mean, before Pledge gets to this, I'll say that I agree that there was no additional pressure on Deshaun Watson. And, I mean, you know, like, what's the, like, narrative now around Dak, right? Around the proverbial quarterback that gets picked. Well, you got to do it yourself now, right? Like, you got this big contract. You got to do it yourself. You got to be the reason. But why do we, like, give Deshaun a pass for that, right? Like, Deshaun was healthy. Deshaun had all the season. Like, you know, he knew what he was signing up for with no DeAndre Hopkins. Like, why is he, you know, why is he washed free of the blame for the 2020 Houston Texans season? Not that there's not a lot to go around. And so in that respect, I think it's fair. I think it's totally fair that the expectation changes. And I think that it changes, like, with a lot of factors. I think you've obviously got Dak. You've got Mike McCarthy year 2. You've got the regression that is expected from last season. You have the sorry division. You have the weaker conference. You have the now full year to kind of put together everything within the spectrum of COVID. So you have no surprises that can kind of, shock you anymore. But that's my take. I'm fascinated to hear what Pledge has to say.
I didn't think it was an overpay or anything like that, and there has not been as much thrust at the feet of Dak Prescott, despite having a phenomenal year this past season. And you shouldn't think that Dak Prescott shouldn't get the exact same treatment that Deshaun Watson did, mainly just because there are two different sides of a coin in terms of Deshaun. Going into this season, you figured they were going to be at least division champions or fighting for the division. They turned out to be even worse than we thought, as they're stripping this thing down to the studs. Now with Dak Prescott, and if you look at the way that team's constructed, at least offensively, you would think that that team and that division has a chance to win it all, and that if he's healthy, they would avoid what the Texans went through this past year. But they should have the same expectations on them based on what they're both being paid.
There's always Super Bowl expectations when it comes to the Cowboys, and there always is pressure on the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But, you look at all the shows, all right, Dak, you got your money. Go get it. And you didn't get that with Deshaun Watson. You're like, all right, cool. You were next, man. Congrats. You're an incredible player. And is that the difference between the two? Is Deshaun Watson, I think we all agree, is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Dak Prescott, you can find 20 people to debate whether or not he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL and doesn't deserve the money. Nobody questioned whether Watson deserved the money. He was next and he got paid. So many people seem to question whether Dak deserves the money. He got it. Now the pressure is on him more. Plus, he has the star in his helmet to go prove that you were worth getting that kind of money.
I think a lot of that deals in the terms of your perceived perception of Dak Prescott and not updating.
My perceived perception.
Yeah, and not updating that with the recent play that he's given you. You're thinking about who he was in the first 2 years, and I'm a victim of that. I thought that this was an offense based around Ezekiel Elliott, and he was the key cog that made the entire offense go. I have since come around on that take because Dak Prescott has proven that he is indeed a top upper echelon quarterback that is a key component to that offense's success right now. And I think that deals a lot with the offense's switch of philosophy the moment that Kellen Moore took over as the offensive coordinator and play caller.
So wait, Pledge, how come Deshaun gets no blame for the Texans season last year? And not only does he get no blame, but
because they have a Jack Easterby.
I know, but not only does he get no blame, but he's also treated as this Deshaun goes to the Jets and they're automatically a 10-win team. Why? I like Deshaun Watson. I'm not trying to bag on Deshaun, but where's the responsibility he bears?
You want the honest answer?
Yeah, sure.
It's because they're the Houston Texans. That is the Dallas Cowboys. They are going to lead the media. The only time that Houston can snag headlines is when a franchise quarterback wants out. Other than that, you never hear about this team.
No, we'll talk about this team. The fact that they are going to let Will Fuller walk away too. Another reason that they need to keep. And we're not taking calls on Deshaun. The stupidity of the Houston Texans, but it is an interesting debate, and I think it is more than just look. We know the Dallas Cowboys are a machine, and the Texans. Well, they're the Texans. But to RJ's point, hey, let's trade Deshaun Watson from Houston to the New York Jets. And like you said, man, they've got a chance to go win that division. It's them in Buffalo at that point. When Deshaun Watson could not get it done in Houston, I know they won some AFC South titles. And, I look at Deshaun Watson and I look at him and I say, well, there's a winner. But his record says otherwise.
I would also to add to that point, Jason, Dak Prescott, people have all day been talking about he's got one playoff win. So does Deshaun Watson. And Dak's lone playoff losses have come against the Green Bay Packers off of a miraculous 3rd and 20 play and then an incredible Mason Crosby field goal, and on the road against the brightest coach of the next 2 decades in Sean McVay and this is an equivalent factor for Deshaun Watson with Jason Garrett as his head coach. Deshaun Watson's playoff loss, the Texans got roundhouse kicked in the face by the Colts. I mean, that's never happened to Dak Prescott. I mean, and not only that, but in that game, you will recall when the Texans were down 21-0, Deshaun Watson was getting up and signaling first down while getting roundhouse kicked in the face. And so it's a convenient thing that people leave out, but to Pledge's point, because it's the little brother, the big brother, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you just look at it, and I just thinking about that this morning, flipping around all the different shows, the pressure on Dak Prescott is greater now today than it was yesterday. And he already faced an enormous amount of pressure. I don't know that there's a quarterback in the NFL that has faced more pressure than Dak Prescott. When you look at the year he became a starter and ultimately replaced and forced Tony Romo out of the league, since then, the pressure on Dak Prescott, how he's handled that pressure as well, how he handled, dealing with Jason Garrett and, to a degree, Mike McCarthy. I mean, it's bear down. I mean, you look at it and you sit there and now there's even more pressure on him. The expectations for this Cowboys team every year about this time, we think they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Are they any more Super Bowl caliber today than they were yesterday? Yet the quarterback under contract for long term apparently has changed things. He was going to be the quarterback this coming season, regardless whether it was on a cap for a tag for $37 million or on a long-term deal. He's still the quarterback and was going to be the quarterback when the season kicks off in September, yet the expectations changed overnight.
I think an interesting data point in this conversation is you're right. And that's the way it is with big markets, et cetera. But we just a month ago watched a Super Bowl in which the quarterback, who we all agree is light years ahead of everybody else, wasn't enough, right? That's supposed to be the idea, right? If you this, he's going to be enough. He's got to be enough on his own. He's got to carry the team. He's the quarterback, whatever, blah, blah. Meanwhile, even Patrick Mahomes is incapable of that feat. And so it only reinforces the idea that that's stupid and that this is a team sport. And that as great as Dak Prescott is, I think we all agree that's a high, level. He's still going to need help.
Well, he's going to need help and, maybe some depth at the offensive line. Obviously, getting some help on the defensive side of the football is going to be a priority. We'll look at what the Cowboys need to do now that they've got Dak taken care of, coming up a little bit later in the show. As we continue, Les Miles out at Kansas, the high school coach in Arkansas who's made news before because he refuses to punt the football, wants the Kansas job, and his contract demands are incredible. We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. Injuries do happen. So if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. There's no reason for you to be in pain. Telemedicine services are available through OrthoConnect. So if you're hurting, visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Go to their website, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
Scenic Views, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Every Friday on the Blitz, tune in as we get you ready for the sports weekend. What's on? Big games, intriguing matchups, how to watch them, and more. Scenic Views by Twin Peaks. Every Friday on the Blitz.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Professional arena football is back in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League kicks off their inaugural season this Saturday, March 13th, against the North Texas Bulls. San Antonio Gunslingers football at the San Antonio Rose Palace, just off I-10 on Burning State Road. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com. Be a part of the action this Saturday for the Gunslingers' first game. Get your tickets now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com or check them out on Facebook.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. I'm Chase Minix. A Butterfinger bite-eating RJ Ochoa is in for Rob Thompson. He is James Pledger. We're taking you until 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow is an early release day because Texas A&M opens the SEC tournament. They're the 13th seed. They're going to take on 12-seeded Vanderbilt tomorrow. Tip-off at 6 o'clock pregame. Andrew Monaco and the crew will get you going at 5:30. So we got a short show tomorrow because of Aggie basketball tomorrow. Aggie basketball always brought to you by our friends at the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant. But a lot to get into today. We got some Spurs talk coming up. They're actually practicing right now, and as Jeff McDonald tweeted, this is likely their last full practice of the year. When you look at the ridiculous schedule coming up, I don't know when there will be more practice time, but we'll get into that in a couple of minutes. I don't know if you guys saw late last night that the University of Kansas, and yes, they still have a football program, decided to part ways with Les Miles. The idea that everybody with contracts got a morals clause, and the report that came out about some of the stuff that Les Miles was doing at LSU, the idea that he should have been fired from LSU back then but wasn't. Kansas looked at that and decided that they were going to mutually part ways. And again, don't feel bad for Les Miles. He gets about $2 million not to have to coach at Kansas anymore. And when you look at his record, he was doing such a bang-up job. But at this point of the year, it's hard to go find a good head college football coach, right? But there's a guy named Kevin Kelly. He's a coach down in Arkansas, and he's made the news before because he's the guy that refuses to punt anywhere he's on the field. It doesn't matter. He's always going for it. Always going for it. And if I remember right, doesn't he always do an onside kick? And he's won a ton of games and a bunch of state championships. The Athletic reports that one of their reporters texted him about Les Miles leaving and said, you should apply for the job. And this coach said, thanks for the vote of confidence. Feel free to say I will do it for $90,000 per win. They'll be coming out way better than they are now if I don't win, but I will. It's one thing for a high school coach to say, hey, man, well, give me that job. Give me that opportunity. Most are thinking, give me that payday when you think about going to a Division I. But we look at all these coaches that are making a ton of money, even if they're not winning. And then the buyouts that come with these contracts. I kind of like where Coach Kelly is thinking here. Give me $100,000 to win. I mean, you win 1 or 2 games. I mean, you're paying your bills for the year. You can live in Lawrence, Kansas on $200,000 a year. I mean, you'll schedule a couple of cupcakes in there anyway. I mean, Kansas has to do that now just to get a win. But you wonder if more and more don't look at something like that, having win percentages tied to their overall compensation. It's comical, laugh, but I like what the guy is thinking. I wonder what Kansas is going to do.
Do you think if either one of the three of us took that job and didn't really just acted like ourselves, would they win a game?
I would like to say yes. I mean, the reality is, I have too much respect for what coaches deal with on a regular basis. And when you think about, I mean, I know a handful of college coaches. I know a ton of high school coaches. And, the differences in college, you go recruit the guys that you want. High schools, you're handcuffed by the boundaries that you're coaching within. So I try not to always judge high school coaches based on wins and losses. It's what kind of young men are you developing over there, and do you see improvement, even though you can see a team line up and realize, boy, they got no size and they got no speed and they got no chance. I mean, we've all been to high school games where, when the bus pulls in, it's over. I remember back in the day, Judson, the buses pull in and they've already won the game. They've won the game in warm-up. Smithson Valley, in Brand. There's a lot of teams that are that way. College, it's a different story. I mean, it's embarrassing that Kansas still can't figure out how to put together a college football program on a consistent basis. But I do like the guy's idea. I mean, this guy clearly is an innovative thinker and coach. Can he go recruit some guys? You think about like the dude from Last Chance U that you see on Netflix, right? He's in the state of Kansas. Can he go from Independence, Kansas down to Lawrence with a couple of his transfers and start getting wins there for the Jayhawks? And we've seen that guy. He would do it for $90,000 a win.
I mean, I like the twist, right? I like the putting my money where my mouth is type thing, right? And I also like the sort of self-acknowledgement that I don't plan on winning a bunch. I just need a couple of wins, and so I'm curious, what is something in your daily life that you feel like you would have a similar success rate that you think you should be compensated for to the same degree?
Oh man, I don't even. Just off the top of my head, I don't know.
What about for every time you remember to wish somebody a happy birthday, without being prompted by Facebook or something?
Oh, well, then I'd be screwed. I mean, if it wasn't for the Facebook birthday reminder thing, I don't know that I would remember many birthdays, to be quite honest. What I do though is I'll see the ones on Facebook, and I don't know half the people on my Facebook anyway on a personal level. But, when I see somebody I know, I'll say, oh, it's RJ's anniversary. Let me text him a happy anniversary to him and his wife, because Facebook, you guys posted today is your anniversary. And then I felt bad. I was like, man, I asked that guy to work on a Tuesday, not knowing that it was his anniversary. And he said yes, because that's the kind of guy RJ is. His wife's going to be mad at me. But then again, you said, sure, no problem. But happy anniversary, RJ. 2 years.
That's right. Yeah. Dos años. Pretty pumped about it. So maybe for every year, like 90 grand to go with the theme of just to congratulate us, like, for being awesome. I think Cammy and I. So 2 years fly by.
Think about what all you have done in the last 2 years. You've bought and sold a couple of. Most people buy a house and they'll keep it for 10 or 12. Not RJ. I mean, RJ buys a house and like he's renting. 6 months later, it's for sale and he's off to the next one.
Yeah, it was basically just like that. But yeah, we moved. We got a dog who already made an appearance on the show today. And he's been good. He's been jovial. We got a new house. I'm trying to think. We got a new TV. I mean, stuff like big serious commitment right there.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're all over it. I mean, you're getting it done. So it's the anniversary. You work until 7:00 tonight. Fancy dinner plans down there. What's the go-to anniversary type restaurant there in the Valley?
Well, I think it depends, but if you're asking which one means a lot to me, there's a little Italian place, owned by a family here in Milano's. I promise you the best pizza you've ever had in your life. I mean, and that's like the move is you get a pizza as like an appetizer, and then you get your main meal, whatever. And so that's the right move to go to. But that'll be something. We actually went to dinner last Friday night, and we went to a local spot called Philly 77. We got some Philly cheesesteaks. It was pretty incredible.
For your anniversary?
Yeah, that's how you do it at year 2, man. Philly cheesesteaks. It was the right way to roll. We had zero regrets about it.
Zero regrets about it. It's not a big steak, no lobster tail, not some good Dungeness crab, nothing like that, huh?
Not the shrimp at Ruth's Chris either. I know that's the move of somebody here, but what's the name? Rock shrimp, or what is it?
The barbecued shrimp at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is incredible. I mean, and the sauce that it comes with, just bring me a straw when it's all said and done.
Well, hey, let's get some shrimp.
Happy anniversary to you and Cammy. Appreciate you working on your anniversary, and the fact that you don't have plans for later. That's something that happens year 24 or 18 or 13, not 2. You're still newlyweds, man.
Hey,
you don't have kids yet. You should totally take advantage.
Tuesday night's a busy night around here, so we're trying to figure things out to make it all happen, make it all work, and it worked out. That's why I'm here talking about Dak and Les Miles and who would pass up the opportunity to talk about the Kansas Jayhawks?
A lot of people, including me. We're moving on. Let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs. They're at practice as we speak, as they get ready to start the second half, and the trade rumors involving the Spurs continue. But what is the walkaway point when it comes to a Spurs trade? We talked about this yesterday. There are no untouchables on this team, but are there? Because apparently the Orlando Magic want, according to reports, a lot of our young talent, like a Derek or a DeJounte. And everybody says, well, no, that means you have untouchables. What's the walkaway point when it comes to a Spurs trade? We want you to be a part of the conversation on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Your calls as we continue here on The Blitz.
Love The Blitz? Well, why not watch along and interact with the guys every weekday from 4 to 7? You can watch the show live every day at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe. Comment along with the show and see your comment on the screen. Another reason to keep it locked to ESPN San Antonio all day, every day. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
O'Reilly. Save big during Power Torque Tools DIY Day sale at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on socket sets, impact wrenches, and more. Right now, get $10 off a 200-piece mechanics tool set, plus earn double O-Rewards points. That means you'll get to your next reward even faster. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Your home for everything Cowboys. Touchdown, Cowboys! 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
Dak Prescott has his new deal. We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. RJ really wants to talk about coming to America too, so we'll do that. The NFL news does continue here on the Blitz, but let's start with the Spurs here in the 5 o'clock hour on the Blitz. RJ Ochoa in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix, pledge producing as always. And it's interesting because we talked some yesterday about a trade rumor involving the Orlando Magic that's been circulating for a couple of days for a player that appears to be that the Spurs are all in on. And, but what does Orlando want in return? Now, I give up the expiring contract of one LaMarcus Aldridge and give up Alani Walker, crack a beer. It's after 5 o'clock. Why the hell not? It's your anniversary. Let's celebrate. You look at this and you go, okay, if the reports out of Orlando now say that they want a haul for Vucevic and they want a lot of the Spurs young players, I don't know that I'm willing to go there. So Pledge and I were talking earlier before the show. Well, what's the cutoff point when it comes to trade talk? You tell me on one hand there's nobody untouchable on this roster, but now you're telling me that you're not getting rid of Derek, you're not getting rid of DeJounte. What about an or? What if it's Derek or DeJounte and some other pieces and parts? Where is your walk away point? Somebody I know who happens to be on vacation talks about being a general manager is easy until it's not. But what is your walk-away point? 656-ESPN, 656-3776. What would you give up for a 7-foot all-star center, knowing that LaMarcus is done? When you look at LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be a free agent, whether you get anything or not. He's relegated to a bench player at this point. He's not part of the future plans. So you don't have a big next to Yak for the foreseeable future. So you've got an issue that you need to solve. How far are you willing to go to solve that problem?
I don't have a point. I don't have a point of no return. I know we talked yesterday about DeJounte, about Keldon, about Derek White, and those are, not ideal, right? Like those are unideal circumstances to give up. But I mean, like that. Those are like heavy. I can be convinced, but there truly is this, not this. You cannot have anybody in this box for me. I was a little apprehensive. I mean, I'm certainly apprehensive about them, but I was also apprehensive about Lonnie Walker until we chatted yesterday, and a lot of the listeners and that chimed in here on the Facebook feed kind of convinced me. I've changed my mind. You know what? You want Lonnie Walker, you can have him now. But other than that, I mean, like make the deal, make the call. Like there's nothing holding you back at this point.
Well, and again, where's the cutoff point? I mean, what are you willing to do? It's a new day when we talk about Spurs and trade rumors, and it's not like the Spurs have a history of making a bunch of in-season trades. It's all uncharted territory, as Michael Jimenez chimes in. The only untouchable of the Spurs young core is DeJounte and Keldon, so he would give up a Derek White for what I'm doing that. By the way, Michael Jimenez will be guest hosting over the next couple of days to fill out the rest of the week. But you look at a guy like Vucevic. By all accounts, this is a guy that the Spurs have made runs at before. They liked him in the draft coming out in 2011. So you look at this and you go, well, what are you willing to give up for him? And maybe it's because I'm cheap. Take a LaMarcus and a Lonnie. You get the expiring deal. Why am I going to give up young talent when you got you know what I mean? But I'm not giving up both. We can have a conversation about one or the other. But would it be Derek? Would it be DeJounte? Do we have untouchables? That ultimately, I guess, becomes the question. 656 ESPN 656-3776 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines, or on Twitter at RJ Ochoa. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. Let's go to the phones. Alex, you're on the Blitz. What would you give up?
Jason, I'd give him LaMarcus, a first-round pick either this year or next year, and I'd give up Derek. I still wouldn't give up Lonnie, man. I still think there's too much upside with him. That guy could take over games at times. He's so athletic. And you can't give up Keldon or Vassell. Vassell, I mean, that guy is just something else, man. I mean, the limited time we got to see him in, I just love what the Spurs are doing. I think if you offer them those three items, they'll do it. And if they don't, then, dude, stand pat. I mean, you're building through the draft, which is what a smart team does.
Well, and again, I mean, I think the expiring contract of LaMarcus is attractive because, well, it's expiring. Now you got to go and make the money work. You've already given a lot of money to Derek White. I'm not willing to give up on a Derek White on the 9th day of March unless I know I can sign DeMar DeRozan to a long-term deal. If DeMar DeRozan is going to commit to San Antonio for 3 or 4 years on a long-term deal, then I think you could afford to get rid of a Derek White. But I'm not willing to give up a Derek White and then lose DeMar DeRozan in free agency. I like what I have in Derek White. He has, and man, it's going back to the big 3 days, but you talk about having the corporate knowledge, and whatever the new corporate knowledge is, he certainly has that. And the defense that he offers, I can't lose him and DeMar DeRozan. So I'm not willing to pull the trigger on a deal for Derek White unless I know for sure that I've got DeMar DeRozan in the bag.
Do you feel like, I mean, I know I get that. Like, I don't, what is it? A bird in the hand is better than two in the, is it bushel or bush? It's bush,
sure.
Right?
It's bush.
Yeah.
Bird in the hand's worth more than two in the bush.
Right. And I realize, but you effectively have a bird in the hand, right? Like, depth-wise, like there's, it would be an utter disaster to end up with no birds in this situation.
Well, again, I mean, by my trade scenario, Orlando would be giving me the bird on what I'm offering, but I'm willing to give them the bird on what they seem to want. And, but can we work out a deal? Because again, I think, when you look big picture, and if this is a player that Greg Popovich covets, and he certainly seems to, he checks all the boxes of what Pop wants, right? And you're going to lose LaMarcus. His days in San Antonio are over. you've got to go find another big. And again, you've got a guy that's 30, 31 years old. He's an all-star. He fits today's NBA. I can visualize what the Spurs are doing, and you add him in. But at what cost? Are you getting rid of some of that young depth and just creating more problems down the road? And again, so I think there is a walk-away point. Pledge, you were telling me earlier, you saw one of the reports that they wanted both Derek and DeJounte. Or I can deal with an or. I mean, that's a conversation starter. And we're back to the birds.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go the or route, which feels fair, and like you can kind of lump DeMar, not in trade talks, but like from a future standpoint into your or, right? Like you're gonna have, like it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have one of them. You know what I mean? And so like you can totally dangle Derek or DeJounte in that case. That's what I'm saying. Like nobody here is truly untouchable.
You look on Twitter, MC Shino7 tweets in at Jason Minix, no way I'd get rid of D White over Lonnie. I really, really want Lonnie to work out, but no way. And again, I think that's part of it. I think Derek White has proven his value to the San Antonio Spurs. That's why they rewarded him with a contract. Lonnie is still in that category that we really, really want him to work out. We really want this to happen. But so far, the consistency hasn't been there from Lonnie Walker. He's still a bit of a project that if I can flip that into a 7-foot all-star, I'm flipping Lonnie Walker.
If I have to part with a future first-round pick, I'd lottery protect it. Lonnie, LaMarcus, and Derek, I would, because Vucevic, he averages 24 and over 24 points and 11 boards a game, and he shoots over 41.5% from three. These are things that can exponentially expand the Spurs offense in terms of, you think of that high pick and roll game with DeMar DeRozan and his ability to play off of that. And then you could also pick and pop with them instead of imagining Jakob Poeltl do that where there's nothing offensively unless it's a dunk. Imagine somebody who can expand the offense in what you're already getting from these players. And if you lose a guy like Derek White, it's fine because he only averages 11 points a game. He only averages 3 assists a game. It's not like his numbers are so eye-popping. I get what he brings to the team in terms of defense and leadership, but Vucevic is a guy that is hard to defend in today's NBA.
Well, he is, but I think you're discounting to sell a narrative what Derek White's stats are. I mean, he's got the ability to score more, but his role on this team is to what? I mean, so it's a lot more than just trading 11 points for 24 and going that route. I mean, I think Derek White value is a lot more than what you're seeing on the stat sheet. Let's go back to the phone lines. John, you're on the Blitz. What's going on, man?
Hey, good afternoon. I just wanted to kind of chime in. If I agree with the last take was about Derek White. If we let go of Derek White and LaMarcus to pick up Vucevic, we would be able to clear that cap space, from LaMarcus and Derek White's contract to be able to use it for negotiating factors for DeMar. Maybe we could clean up and be able to make an agreement with DeMar this year as opposed to having to wait for him to try and test the market.
Well, John, you realize that the salary that you're bringing on from Vucevic is pretty large. I mean, they're going to be able to go sign DeMar DeRozan. To me, that part of it is easy. It's LaMarcus is the expiring contract. You still have Derek White's deal there. But again, I think this is all predicated. My grasping of Derek White, and Pledge, I'll be clear on this. If DeMar DeRozan is leaving, and you've asked DeMar DeRozan what your intent is, and his intent is to go test the free agent market and more likely leave, then I'm not getting rid of Derek White. If DeMar is here, then Derek White can be a part of that conversation.
But wouldn't you want a star then if DeMar is possibly leaving, or if he does leave, wouldn't you want to replace that star potential with another star?
I don't think Pop cares if he's replacing with a star. I think he's trying to figure out how to make 5 guys on a court work together and go win basketball games. I don't. Honestly, I mean, I'm Pop isn't playing the star game. Neither am I here. It's what can you do to get yourself to being back as a championship contender in a shorter amount of time. And I think if you lose a Derek White and a Demar, even though you're adding in a 7-foot all-star, I don't know that you're any closer than where you are right now. Why do a lateral move? You can't end up losing both of them.
I mean, in the perfect of perfect worlds here, how close do you get?
And again, I look at, based on all the reports that I've seen, and Pledge, you've shared with me some information that Jeff Garcia from Spurs Zone has told you about, Pop's desire for Vooch for a long time. It goes there. And so maybe, his long-standing I want list, he could check something off, but Pop isn't going to make a bad decision here. And again, there is nobody really untouchable if the deal is worth it. Now, are we talking about straight up, or are there other pieces of parts from Orlando that could be involved here? Maybe a player from another team that gets involved that maybe replaces what you're losing from Derek White, because, from Orlando, they want young and they want picks. So you're also going to be trading away a pick as a part of this deal that's going to put you another year behind unless you go acquire a pick somewhere else. So I think you not knowing all the facts of the deal, but for me it starts with Demar Derozan, and I have to believe that the Spurs have had conversations with Demar Derozan. They will make a deal with a full book of knowledge here, where we're speculating right now on what Demar Derozan might be doing at the end of this season when it comes to free agency. Let's go back to the phone lines. Robert, you're on the Blitz.
Hey, no, what I was telling Fletch is, you got to remember, the league now is about wing players. The guys 6'4", 6'6", 6'7", they can shoot the three, play D, create their own shot. Now, I understand Vucevic is a 7-footer that can hit the threes, and he'd be an asset, but there's no way I'm giving up a Lonnie and a Derek White or any combination of two young guys. And I'm like you. I want to see Derek White and DeJounte Murray play a whole season together, starting in the backcourt. That's where your team starts, on top of the defense, and they set the tone there. Lonnie Walker, like I said, I agree with you. I think he's still kind of a project, but he's got a tremendous upside also. But I would never give up 2 of our young guys for one big. There's no way.
Well, and again, I might disagree with you there with the value that Vooch offers as a 7-footer in this league. If you watch the skills competition on All-Star Sunday, you would have saw what the bigs were doing, and he is certainly one of those capable players. I'm not giving up 2 young players either. It wouldn't be a Lonnie and a Derek and an expiring LaMarcus deal. If you put Orrs in there, I'm much more willing to have that conversation. But it does hinge on DeMar DeRozan. Well, I mean, look, it's
you say it's a wing and 3-and-D league, but Anthony Davis, Jokovic, you look across the league, Yusuf Nurkic, the teams that are good have a very good and an expansive game size, a guy that can stretch beyond the perimeter as well. And the Spurs don't have that right now.
Man, why do you hate Yak?
He's great defensively. Put him in that second unit. Let him run wild. But
I'm kidding.
You need someone.
You got to get some size in there, but at what cost? And that could be too much. So I think it turns out the Spurs do have players that are somewhat untouchable, at least as a grouping. They are untouchable. Pieces and parts, we can have that conversation. Dak Prescott had the conversation finally with Jerry Jones. They got the deal done. What does it mean now for the Dallas Cowboys moving forward? Expectations went from a season to a Super Bowl season overnight. We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. Most of us don't think about our breaks until we need to think about our breaks. Jason Minix here for my friends at newbreaks.com. Newbrakes.com. New Brakes, they're a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair because they'll come to your home, they'll come to your office, wherever you are, and they will fix your brakes. And they only fix brakes. They're convenient, affordable brake repairs without the normal upsells you get at a traditional shop once your car is up on the lift. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. They only use premium brake parts, and they back all those repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Just go read all those 5-star reviews. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, go to nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Love ESPN San Antonio? Watch the Blitz weekdays 4 to 7 and the Saturday Morning Hangover Saturdays 9 to 11 live at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It's more than just your lawn. It's your fairway to heaven. It deserves the Kubota Z400. Class-leading speed, agility, a powerful transmission, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort, convenience, and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. Maybe you're watching on Facebook Live or on the YouTube channel. Appreciate it. RJ Ochoa in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason, an extreme pleasure producing as always. I know I said we were going to get into Dak, and we will, but a couple of people still on the phone, I believe, wanting to talk some Spurs, got some tweets and an update from the San Antonio Spurs for tomorrow's game against the Dallas Mavericks as they kick off the quote-unquote second half of the season on the road against Dallas. Everybody's available except Devin Vassell. He is the only one out for post-health and safety protocols reconditioning, the coach's decision for that. So Rudy Gay and Derek White are certainly back. And look, this all makes a lot of sense when you consider that, they're on the road tomorrow night against Dallas. Friday, they are home against the Orlando Magic. And, this fella, the 7-footer that we keep talking about, this will also be the first time that fans are in the building on Friday. And if you're one of the lucky fans that get to go, you not only get one T-shirt, you get two that say Spurs family on it. Supposedly one for you to keep and then one to give to somebody else. But, we know you're going to end up with two T-shirts and try to sell those things on eBay. But you look at it, cheer loudly for the tall 7-footer who could be in a Spurs uniform before long. But on Twitter, Frank Rodriguez says, don't know enough about him. How good is he in the East? I would even consider DeRozan more than White. He's still got a lot more growth, possibly. And I think this might be part of the issue is we're talking about a 7-foot all-star player that plays for the Orlando Magic, who get less national TV time than the San Antonio Spurs. I wonder if how many people really understand the kind of talent that you're talking about here from Orlando, which is why Orlando wants plenty in return, which is why they would quickly reject my offer of a LaMarcus and a Lonnie, apparently. Although maybe, he's good and he would thrive well with what the San Antonio Spurs are trying to do. Pledge, we still got guys on the phone. If you call, we try to get to your phone calls. Eddie, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? It's been a while, man, but great show. Here's the thing, man. People that don't really watch the NBA don't know the caliber. This guy is a legit one of the best big men in the league. As Pledge said earlier, man, you're looking at the West alone with Anthony Davis and Jokic and Rudy Gobert and guys like that. This guy scores. He rebounds. He can shoot the three. This guy's a perennial. He's a legit all-star. So here's the thing with the Spurs. I mean, Derek White, I like the guy, but he's always hurt. Honestly, how many years are we going to say that Lonnie could be the next Ginobili? I mean, we're always saying that as far as potential, but at some point you kind of just got to go with what you see. And aside from Keldon, you try to keep Keldon, you try to keep DeRozan and pair him with Vucevic and everybody else, including Derek and DeJounte. If it means getting this guy in return, I'm with it.
So wait. You kind of lost me there, Eddie. So you're saying you'd get rid of DeJounte?
I mean, the only two that I'm willing not to, Keldon, I'm keeping Keldon, and I try to pair DeMar with this guy, and you build around Vucevic, DeRozan, and the young pieces around that. Everybody else is up for grabs, including DeJounte and Derek White in my book.
That's why you're not the general manager, and being a GM isn't easy. Appreciate the phone call. See, and I'm not willing to go that far. I'm just not. The Spurs have always prided themselves on built, not bought. And we know we're not going to be big players in free agency. You drafted these guys, you've developed them. If you've got to part with a Derek White, and you're keeping DeMar. And again, I think that's the big thing. Even Eddie just said, you're pairing this guy with DeMar, and then so much of what this hinges on as we try to forecast what this team is going to look like in years to come is on Demar Derozan, who is ironically a player that a lot of Spurs fans, RJ, just haven't bought into yet, because we know he didn't want to come here initially. We know he was unhappy initially, and we're not really sure how happy he really is. I mean, he looks like he's having fun. He seems to like his teammates, but is he happy enough to sign here for a long-term deal? When you look at some of the things that come along with being a San Antonio Spur, he got snubbed for the All-Star game this year. He got snubbed initially. Then he got snubbed on the first replacement, and then on the second replacement, and then on a Mike Conley replacement. I mean, and based on his Twitter, he was not happy about the snub. But that comes with being a San Antonio Spur. and he ain't going to win a ring anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, this arranged marriage has always, like, this was always going to be the case, right? Like, this was never going to lead to, you know, all-star appearance after all-star appearance or title chasing for Demar. So, I mean, I do think that the likelihood of him staying is higher than it was at the initial point of the trade, right? Like, I do think that he has embraced the culture of it all. But it's still, it is what it is. Like, I mean, I hate that expression, but it is unavoidable, you know, what the situation is, and he can't escape it. And the only way for him to, you know, this sounds amazing, but the only way for him to be prioritized over the Mike Conleys of the world is to potentially play elsewhere.
Well, and I think part of that too is just, some of it might just simply go with, I mean, you look at Mike Conley, plays for the Utah Jazz now, and, you know, they're the number 1 seed. They're having a hell of a year. The fact that the Spurs had 0 All-Stars and, you know, they're right in the middle of the playoff standings right now, but nobody really expected this Spurs team to be a playoff team this year. You know, I don't even know how much they believed in their front office that they were a legit playoff team this year. This was supposed to be the rebuild year and the, you know, let's see what we can get for tomorrow year. And again, I've said many times, and you know, and I say it this way because I'll have somebody say, well, you know, you said before you would trade Demar. Well, yeah, if I think he's going to leave, I want to get something in return for him. He becomes a valuable tradable piece if he is not going to sign a long-term contract with the San Antonio Spurs. I don't want him to get to the end of the season, leave in free agency, and the Spurs get nothing for him. So that's why I go with, I'm sure the Spurs have a pretty good idea of the direction that DeMar DeRozan wants to go. And if he wants to go, they will probably try to include him in a trade before the deadline. If they think they can sign him to a long-term deal or he's given them some sort of verbal agreement, we'll see their moves, whether at the trade deadline or at the beginning of the offseason, based on whatever that agreement or what those discussions are. And, you know, we're not privy to that.
No, but I mean, everything you're saying is fair and justified and warranted, but it's also, I mean, if DeMar wants to leave, and if that's talk amongst the most inner circles of the NBA, you know, who wants to absorb that risk? You know what I mean? Who feels like they can convince him, unless it's a place where he already wants to be, you know, but to that point, why give up any capital when you could just wait it out?
Well, there are plenty of teams that are going to try to do that to get the expiring contract. I mean, that just has so much value in the NBA, which is why, you know, you look at including LaMarcus Aldridge in a deal for Orlando right now. You know, they would only take that on because they know it's an expiring contract and it makes the salaries work to be able to get that deal done. It's a big part of the way the NBA works. It just is amazing to me that we're still a ways away from the trade deadline, yet here's another rumor involving the San Antonio Spurs. And one of the other rumors that we've continued to hear is basically they're taking phone calls on everybody right now. And I don't know if they're making calls, but they're not hanging up on people. It's just a new day when you hear Spurs trade rumors and you feel like these have legs. You know, for so many years, you know, the Spurs had too many untouchables. You know, it was Tim, it was Tony, it was Manu. You know, there were a couple of times you thought maybe Tony could be on his way out. Ultimately, that never happened. And then you looked at the rest of the roster and you said, well, no, nobody's going to want those guys, you know, not in a trade. So it is a very different time to have trade rumors involving the Spurs, and they have legitimate legs moving forward with it. So it's something that we'll certainly keep on. And again, Spurs back in action tomorrow night against the Dallas Mavericks, home on Friday against Orlando. And if you're going to the game, if you're one lucky enough with tickets, make sure you cheer for that 7-footer and kind of be like me and start figuring out how you pronounce his last name. Vooch. Or you just get a straight nickname.
Yeah, that's, I mean, is that the chant? Is that what you're coming up with here?
Well, I mean, we got to come up with something before Friday, don't we? I would think we would have to come up with something before Friday. just to make them feel very welcome, make them understand, where everybody going into the building is going to get 2 shirts that say Spurs family on it. Maybe you take one of those shirts and you throw it at him. Let him feel like he's a part of the family. Maybe the Coyote will get there with that big cannon gun and accidentally just pelt him with a whole bunch of T-shirts.
Right.
Make them feel welcome and a part of the family. I mean, I do think it's not lost on me that it says family on the shirt, and you want to make sure he gets one.
Right.
I don't know if that would be considered tampering. Well, no, it'd be coyote warfare.
It's a good point. Good way to put it. If the Phoenix Suns did, it'd be guerrilla warfare, but that's a good way to put it.
I'm just saying it's what it is. Let's talk Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys when we continue here on the Blitz. But first, let me tell you about my friends over at Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. If you're having issues at the house, whether it's with your AC or you got plumbing problems, there's no better company to call than Quartermoon. I know firsthand. I've used them many times throughout the years. They are fantastic at what they do. Full service, big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. 210-651-5899 is the number. 651-5899, or go to the website, quartermoonplumbing.com.
Game Nights The Blitz focuses on your silver and black in depth for 30 minutes. Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
Spend your game nights with us. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
O'Reilly. Save big during Power Torque Tools DIY Day sale at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on socket sets, impact wrenches, and more. Right now, get $10 off a 200-piece mechanics tool set, plus earn double O-Rewards points. That means you'll get to your next reward even faster. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
O'Reilly. This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, real bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it for free. Now my car starts like new.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect time to power up productivity and gaming victories. Now you can save what Dell employees save on high-performance tech. Save 17% on the latest XPS and Alienware computers with Intel Core processors. Plus, check out exclusive savings on Dell monitors, headsets, and accessories for greater immersion in all you do. Upgrade today by calling 800-BY-DELL. Again, that's 800-BY-DELL, or you can visit Dell.com/semi-annual sale.
All right, Bert is on the Traeger doing a beer can chicken tonight. It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. RJ Ochoa in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. You're putting meat on the grill. Take a picture of it and upload it at ESPNSA.com. Grilling with the Blitz. We do it every Thursday at 6 o'clock. Just take a picture of what you got on the grill. Put it up there, and you could end up winning a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market, the Huebner Road location, which is always fantastic. So easy to do. And again, it's I like the pictures, but if you could add a little bit on the recipe as well, that certainly goes a long way. Go to ESPNSA.com, upload your photo for Grilling with the Blitz. Again, Thursday, 6 o'clock. You could win yourself that $50 gift card to Tri-County Meat Market. What kind of steak do you figure Dak Prescott put on the grill last night?
I mean, we're talking some like
tomahawk.
Elite. I think it was either like the most elite cut money can buy, or like burgers. You know what I mean? Like I think I could see it being one or the other.
Well, I mean, I could say, you're going to celebrate. You're going to have some people over. Maybe, unlike Russell Wilson, who pissed off his offensive lineman, I would say if I'm Dak, I'm going down to Tri-County and I'm buying 10 Tommies. Give me a couple of tomahawks, throw them there on the Traeger, and let's have yourself a feast. And again, when you're getting 126 million guaranteed at dollars, each one of those steaks could come with their own Traeger that you gift off to the offensive lineman. I mean, there's so much you could do there, but you got to celebrate with a good steak. It's like you, for example, you are celebrating your second anniversary today, your second wedding anniversary, yet you guys aren't doing big fancy steaks.
It's a Tuesday. I'm going to make some chicken. We're going to be fine. It's no big deal. We're going to enjoy it a lot. It's going to be incredible. If it was a Friday night, it'd be more of a steak night type of situation, but it's a Tuesday night. What can you do on a Tuesday?
You can grill any day of the week, my friend, especially when you're working from home. It makes it very easy to, say, put a beer can chicken on, around 540, at 300. It's going to take about an hour and a half, be ready just after the show is over. I mean, there's lots of ways around it. You could certainly do that. But for Dak Prescott, and I've seen some people react to a headline that they are seeing on ProFootballTalk.com that says Cowboys franchise tag Dak Prescott, even though yesterday we know that he has agreed to a long-term deal. The tag today is a formality. So technically speaking, he did get the franchise tag today, but we do know that he's got the long-term deal in place, ready to go. Don't freak out about what you're seeing today. What you heard yesterday and all day today, and his contract is very, very real.
Yeah, I mean, if the Cowboys, technically, Dak Prescott's contract that he has had, the franchise tag that he signed last year, is expiring. And so until he has a new contract, he is technically said to be a free agent. And while the Cowboys and Dak Prescott's agency have agreed to terms, he has not put the proverbial pen to paper. And so the Cowboys could have not tagged him, but then technically he would be set to become a true free agent next week when free agency begins. And he could have pulled the old rope-a-dope and said, you know what, I'm just going to hit the open market. See you later. That would have really sucked.
Well, and that's too. I mean, it's the exclusive tag, which means he cannot negotiate with any other teams. What it also does is, we heard yesterday, one of the clauses in there is he can't get another tag. He's got that no tag clause. But by officially getting the tag today, That gives them 2 tags. So if they were to come back for a third tag, it would be at the third tag value, which is 44% of whatever it is, which is a ridiculous number, especially now when you factor in what he is currently making. So it's a formality, but I've seen some people on Twitter going, wait, why is he getting tagged today? I heard yesterday he agreed to this ridiculous long contract.
Yeah, it's a temporary thing. It's kind of like, we're going to the movies, right? And I'm standing in line, we're all, the 3 of us are standing in line, whatever. And we say, you know what? They're about to let us in. Jason, you go in, you save the seats. All right. I'm going to go get the snacks. Pledge has to go to the bathroom because he's been drinking a lot of water the whole time we've been in line. He's been really irresponsible with it all. So, it's just like that. You're saving the seats. It's all you're doing for us. Even though some people get pissed off about that, you have to fight the good fight and save the seats.
I'm a professional seat saver on a Southwest Airlines. You
are.
I've gotten pretty good at that.
You've got some skills.
I am the good seat saver of all the other moves today. And again, technically Dak gets tagged today, but we know it's a formality. And I do believe that's also part of the reason why they scheduled the press conference for Wednesday. To let all the lawyers, all the league stuff, check everything on the contract, get all the details done, and obviously get the deal signed. But a lot of other tags and cuts today. Any of them surprise you?
I'm kind of surprised that the Saints were able to tag Marcus Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints always figure out a way. I'm a little surprised that Bud Dupree is going to hit the free agent market. But the Steelers have to figure some things out themselves. The least surprising was that the Buccaneers tagged Chris Godwin. They're trying to ride the Tom Brady experience there until the wheels fall off. So ultimately, it was a pretty predictable tag fest. I'm super bummed for Allen Robinson that he got tagged. That really sucks.
Well, when Deshaun Watson is his quarterback, I don't think he'll be too bummed. And then you look at Will Fuller did not get tagged, so he's going to be a free agent. It'll be interesting to see what he's able to get on the open market. The Detroit Lions did not tag their receiver, which has got to be a blow to Jared Goff, who was thinking he was going to have a pretty shiny toy to throw the ball to. And while in Green Bay, I could see the narrative now of they'll do everything they can to piss off Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Green does not get the tag as a running back. But all signs do point to them trying to get a long-term deal done without putting him on the franchise tag. But you wonder what he could get on the open market.
I agree, and I think I wouldn't pay a running back. That would be like my rule. I would never pay a running back. So I would have tagged Aaron Jones and just, really kind of tried to run this back next year and then let him walk in 2022. You mentioned the Detroit Lions not tagging Kenny Golladay. Future Indianapolis Colt Kenny Golladay. I don't think there's any doubt about this. Especially with Allen Robinson and Chris Godwin staying put, Kenny Golladay is the top receiver on the open market.
And again, you look at it, it's, we see guys that we know like Dan Bailey got released, released, whatever the word they were, his agent, Jordan Moy, tweeted out that they were trying to get a deal done and they wanted to both get a deal, but they couldn't. So, Dan Bailey is available. What could have been? He's done. Kickers never seem to be done, but he done.
That is one of the truly legitimate times that the Cowboys were right in being, like the expression is you always want to be a year too early versus a year too late. And man alive, their mistake was leaning into the Brett Maher experience. Some good times for all of us. But man, I will never forget that day. That was a shock of all shocks.
It really was. But again, the Cowboys have to make some news. And again, no other news from the Cowboys on releases yet, renegotiations yet. It seems to be very, very quiet outside of the Dak Prescott deal there at the Star.
It really does. But, tomorrow it should be bumping. I'm so happy this finally happened. We did it. We did it. We survived. We made it. We need to make some t-shirts like I survived the Dak Prescott contract negotiation. Think about all the time that all these people wasted making edits of him in 49ers jerseys and Washington jerseys. Like all that time just, completely wasted.
It was wasted, but I mean, I forget which analyst on Get Up this morning, had the comment and tweeted out that, thank you, Jerry Jones, for providing 3 years worth of content on all the shows. For me personally, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we don't have to go through another year of are they, should they, did they? Now the people that were against it, screw it. You got your quarterback. You're stuck with them. Choose to be happy. As our friend Ari Temkin used to say, happiness is a choice.
Well, and thank you for choosing us, of course.
Yes.
By the way, I met about an hour ago. We were talking about Kansas football. There's somebody who would talk about the Jayhawks all day long, of course. Well,
he gets a chance to on the Big 12 Sirius channel. I mean, it's perfect. I'm sure it was a wonderful conversation for him this morning, having to go through that again, especially with what's going on with Kansas basketball. Kansas basketball, by the way, 2 players are going to miss the Big 12 tournament because of COVID reasons. So, Bill Self maybe still gets into the NCAA, and I think they will, and hopefully those guys will be back for the big dance, but for the Big 12 tournament, which is starting this week, they won't be there. Speaking of college basketball, SEC tournament starts tomorrow. A&M and Vanderbilt, things get going at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon with Andrew Monaco right here on ESPN San Antonio. Tip-off just after 6. A&M basketball brought to you by our friends at the Rue Pub and Angry Elephant. Then on Thursday, it's Texas Tech against Texas, a game that you can listen to right here on ESPN San Antonio. RJ's been dying to talk about Coming to America 2. Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Your thoughts and RJ's glorious review when we come back here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing come together in our Drive to End Hunger. Brought to you in part by Quarter Moon Heating and AC, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. We have come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank. Give what you can at ESPNSA.com.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
You hear all the time about Diamonds Direct's prices and selection and warranties. All true, and all good reasons to give us a visit. But what really sets Diamonds Direct apart is something that's hard to put into words. But you will feel it. You'll know it from the minute you walk in. It's our unique culture, our passion, our genuine and absolute desire to totally revolutionize the way you experience jewelry shopping, with a laser focus on celebrating your special moments. Every associate, every receptionist, every jewelry craftsman, every single person at Diamonds Direct shares this DNA, this overwhelming desire to exceed your expectations, to honor your trust, to revel in your moment, to make your experience truly magical. This is not a mission statement written on our wall. This is the essence of who we are. It's what drives us every day. It's why we do what we do. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. For real. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Contaire.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
Businesses that run like clockwork establish routines they trust. That's why over 1 million companies rely on Cintas. We'll help you protect employees and customers with essential safety supplies, inspect your fire protection systems and devices, hygienically launder your uniforms, and keep you well-stocked with the leading hand sanitizers and disinfecting wipes. Learn how Cintas can help you open your doors with confidence.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
You know, before we get into RJ Ochoa's review of Coming to America, and if you want to give us your thoughts on Twitter, at RJ Ochoa, at Jason Minix. I started watching something last night on Netflix that I stumbled across called Challenger, The Final Flight. It's on Netflix. It apparently came out September of last year. I've heard nothing about this. Zero buzz. But it's a short docu-series on the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion. And I'm watching this last night. It's very well done, although I can't say there's a lot of new, but there's a lot of stuff you go, man, I didn't realize that, or I don't remember that. I mean, it was 1986. I was 12, 13 years old. And so many people like you guys weren't even around yet. You know, you've only seen it on the history books. What's amazing to me is how many people apparently knew that the likelihood of that explosion was going to happen, yet they still sent that space shuttle up. That is what was amazing. The hours before the launch, the discussions that were happening, you know, the fact that it was moved off of Super Bowl Sunday. You think about that big Bears win in the Super Bowl over the New England Patriots, and the Fred scores a couple of touchdowns. The shuttle was supposed to launch that morning, but they had to move it. And then some of the other things that happened with it. If you're looking for something to watch before the NBA gets going again tomorrow night, and I highly recommend it. This was, you know, I'm not a space nerd, but I like that kind of stuff. It was very well done. You should give it a watch tonight, RJ.
I might check it out, although I kind of want to start watching The Crown. That might happen tonight, if I'm being honest. You know, so sorry.
I don't know what The Crown is, so
that's a lie. You know what The Crown is.
I don't know what The Crown is.
That's a lie. That's okay. You're lying. It's fine.
I seriously have no clue what you're talking about.
It's cool. You're lying. I understand.
All right. Cool. So you've been talking for days about Coming to America. Mm-hmm. Have you even bothered to watch the first one yet?
I have seen the first one. In fact, I own it on DVD. I bet you don't. You're not even a real Coming to America fan.
No, I do not own it.
So I have not watched the second. I will not watch the second. I would rather watch a Zoom between you and Pledge doing laundry and coaching one another through it and how to fold. I have a general rule of thumb. It's not like a unique thing, but anytime Cammie and I are going to watch something, we're thinking about watching something, I look it up on IMDb, International Movie Database.
Yeah.
And they grade things on a 1 to 10 scale, you know, a star scale. And like, if it doesn't even have like 7 stars, I don't even waste my time. Do you know what Coming to America graded on IMDb scale?
I'm going to go on the Minix scale of 3.7.
Okay. Pledge?
It's all right.
Give me a grade. What do you think their grade was? I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm asking what you think their grade is. I just said it's a 1 to 10 scale.
But that's not a grade. That's then a scale.
All right, Pledge is overcomplicating. Here's the thing. Coming to America. All right, better than I thought. And that's all right. See, all right. I went 3.7 thinking you still had your 7 in there. 5.5 is probably fair. It is.
No.
It wasn't great. Sequels never live up to the hype. They never live up to the original. The original was comic genius.
There are great sequels in the world.
It is very true.
No, RJ's right. There are some good sequels.
Yeah, they never live up to the original. This one made you laugh. The originality, and you saw a whole bunch of people on your TV screen that you haven't seen in a long time, and you're happy for them because they got paid. You know what I mean? There were times that you laughed. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. I've seen some people just completely trash it, and that part I don't understand. I also don't understand the people that say that it was actually better than the first one, because it clearly was not.
Mm-mm.
All this is an excuse to talk about the time in our lives or your lives or whatever when the original came out. That's all this is. Like, that's all. Man, I remember when Coming to America came out. Like, blah blah. Like, that's all. All it is to like serve the like narcissistic version of nostalgia that we all have within us.
There's nothing wrong with that. I thought it was fantastic. You should do yourself a favor and watch it. You really should. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to Eddie Murphy.
Why do we owe Eddie Murphy? I supported him a lot. I watched all the Beverly Hills
the
Cops.
fact that they put it on Amazon, and you know, and you don't feel guilty about parting away with $12 and however much it cost you to concession stand at a movie theater. I mean, he did us all a favor by putting it on Amazon. If you've got Amazon, you should.
How is that doing us a favor in the era of social distancing? Like, Warner Brothers is putting all their movies on streaming for 2021. Eddie Murphy didn't do us a favor.
Yeah, basically,
look, man,
if a movie's going streaming,
I'm trying to give you a positive that you don't have to go sit in the theater for that very reason. It's all there. Although things are opening back up, and capacity levels are coming back and coming back. So, you know, we shall see. Let's move into the 6 o'clock hour. Bad news for former Alamo Heights star Forrest Whitley. We'll talk about it with Dr. Eloy Ochoa, the injury update, next here on the Blitz, ESPN San Antonio.
It's March, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the biggest St. Paddy's Day party ever, Part 6. Chip Ingram here from the Root Pub and Angry Elephant, and let me tell you something. It's been one hell of a year, San Antonio, and even the governor agrees you've earned the right to celebrate. So we're going to throw an outdoor parking lot party with DJs, food trucks, and adult beverages as far as the eye can see. Wednesday, March 17th, doors open at 11 a.m. The Root Pub and Angry Elephant at the corner of Redland and 281. See you there.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies and our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Joel, it's fantastic to be a local business.
Sure is, Nigel. And being local means every customer, every time matters. It also means doing things right with honesty, integrity, and good old-fashioned customer service.
All of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing value your time, your home. We may have fun on the radio, but we're serious when it comes to providing unmatched plumbing and AC services in and around San Antonio.
With a large team of qualified residential and commercial technicians, we are Quarter Moon Plumbing and Air Conditioning. And nothing is more important to us than making you smile on the radio and making you smile with outstanding customer service with a friendly Texas spirit.
We always say, from the outhouse to the penthouse, we can plumb it and we can cool it.
And all that at a fair price with one easy phone call to 210-651-5899.
See, Joel? I told you I could do it without clowning around.
So what's with the red nose?
You can let go now. That's not funny.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. 210-651-5899. License number M13229 TACLA 000743445E.
That meeting's starting at 4. Can I get those projections?
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Karen, do these numbers look right to you?
Like at Mia's research firm. To hit client deadlines, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
When you post your first job for free on LinkedIn Jobs, we search a network of over 700 million professionals so you can find the quality candidate you need quickly. Marketing wizards? Found them.
Software engineers?
Found.
That project manager I could never seem to hire?
And found. How? Well, LinkedIn Jobs matches your roles with candidates with the right skills and experience and puts your jobs in front of them. So, looking for an easier way to make that next hire? You found it. Post your first job for free and get started at linkedin.com/CBS. That's linkedin.com/CBS. Terms and conditions apply.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One NA member FDIC.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Colonel Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
They're even shaped like hearts. So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Colonel Sergeant! Happy heart shapes are back for a limited time. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
ESPN San Antonio, all day, every day. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM, KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. RJ Ochoa in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always as we head into the final hour of this Tuesday edition. The University of Texas put out a report on the song The Eyes of Texas. We'll get into that. And the masterclass they put on in PR crisis management and the tightrope that they are walking. If you're a UT alum, we certainly want to get your thoughts on the report. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776 on the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines. You can always reach us on Twitter at RJ Ochoa, at I Am Pledger. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. We'll also talk about Dak Prescott, the San Antonio Spurs getting ready to start the second half of the season. They had a practice today. They'll be on the road tomorrow to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Jeff McDonald from the Express News had a tweet that I think we all knew, but it was just RJ kind of odd seeing it in print. What is likely the last full practice of the season for the San Antonio Spurs. And I say it that way. We've talked about it. We talked about it when we saw the second half of the schedule, the amount of games in the short amount of days, the number of back-to-backs. There's not a lot of practice time for the Spurs over the course of the rest of the season, especially the way they factor in rest and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it probably was the last full let's get after it kind of practice, which is going to be interesting. And it's not just the Spurs that are going to be going through that. It's pretty much everybody in the NBA, especially teams that are older with a lot of veteran players. You know, they got an off day. They are going to get off days and not necessarily go through practice. I wonder how that's going to factor in to the second half of the season that officially starts tomorrow night for the Spurs against the Dallas Mavericks.
You know, when you said that, like a teeny part of my brain, like the smallest part, kind of thought like, holy crap, it's only January. You know what I mean? Like that was like the first thing I thought of. Like,
except it's March.
Right. I know. Like, and that's kind of nuts. I mean, it makes sense in that respect, but it's just like jarring is not the right word. That's a bit too aggressive. It's just kind of surreal, I suppose. It's our new normal. Like everything's weird.
I mean, we talked about it when it happened, but again, seeing that tweet from McDonald today, and you go, oh yeah, I mean, here we go. I mean, the gauntlet is going to begin, and you look at the San Antonio Spurs, and I know the trade deadline is looming, and we've talked a lot about potential trades, especially with one particular 7-footer from Orlando, and who you'd be willing to give up, who you're not willing to give up, and where do you see this San Antonio Spurs team? And quite honestly, they're certainly ahead of schedule. I think coming into the season, this was supposed to be the rebuild year. You know, they might sneak in at the 10th seed, get into that play-in deal that they're going to do. I don't think many of us saw the Spurs sitting at the All-Star break where they're at right now, which is technically the 7th seed. They've been as high as the 5th. They're only a game out of 6, a game and a half out of 5th. A couple of games out of the 4th seed. I mean, it's conceivable to think if the Spurs can go on some kind of a run could they even get up to the 4th seed? My goal is get them to the 5th. If you're a 4-5, you got a chance to get to the 2nd round. If you're 1, 2, or 6, 7, or 8, you're probably going to get bounced in the 1st round. But I also don't think many of us saw the Utah Jazz being the clubhouse leader at the All-Star break. I don't think many of us saw the Phoenix Suns being the 2 seed. We thought it was going to be LA, and everybody else. I think some of the bigger surprises, Dallas being pretty crappy. When you look at Denver not being as strong as I thought they were going to be, and what the hell is going on with New Orleans? Now, we knew when they changed everybody out, but I mean, was Zion? Yeah, I just figured they were going to be a better basketball team in the win-loss column at the very least than where they are right now.
I also think in a bit of surprises, I know you poo-pooed this yesterday because you are a hater of fun, but my team in NBA 2K and career mode, because I know that this is always an important update, is the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are kind of surprising. Like, I mean, the Bulls are going to be a playoff team. Like, that is going to happen. Like, it's a bit of a shock. I mean, it's in this realm.
I mean, they're on the outside looking in right now.
They're going to be a playoff team.
But they certainly have the ability. When I look over at the East, the only thing that really surprises me in the East is Miami not being better than what they are. Now, granted, this is a team that got on a run in the bubble and made it to the NBA Finals, but I really thought Miami was going to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams coming out of the Eastern Conference. Now, with Brooklyn making all the moves that they did, they're going to be good, and they're going to be just fine. Philadelphia is the 1 seed at the break. A little surprising that it's not Brooklyn, but I really thought Miami was going to be a far better basketball team than what we've seen over the first half. But again, I think a lot of it is the warm up to the NBA season. The short off season, maybe that affected Miami in a way that I didn't factor in when I thought that they were going to be really good at this point. Are they saving themselves for a second half run? But when you look at every team, the marathon sprint that we are about to see, the number of games, and quite frankly, it's the Spurs are just getting over it, and they're going to have to make up a handful of games in the second half, which is added to the brutality of their schedule. But it used to be you worried about an ankle sprain or something like that for 2 weeks. Now you also got to factor in COVID and what COVID could do to a team heading down the stretch, and then the real possibility that they don't get all 72 games in. Or what will Adam Silver do to try to make sure you get them in? I'm sure if you're a playoff team, they're going to do everything they can to make up games. If you're not a playoff team, I think, all right, well, we're not going to worry about that one.
Isn't that weird? Like, I don't know. That to me diminishes the regular season in a whole different way. Like that justifies the diminishing of it. Like it's for a good reason, but you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of validates that idea.
I mean, I'm with you. If a game doesn't matter, it's kind of like a traditional Major League Baseball season when you've got 2 teams that have no chance at the playoffs playing an extra inning game in September. And you wonder, what's the point of this? Can we all just go home? Why are you playing out the string just because it's a game on the schedule? I think in this case, while they're trying to make up games, as long as they hit the magic number they have to hit to fulfill their TV obligations, I think anything after that is gravy. If it's not going to have an effect on anybody in the standings, I could see that game not happening.
I mean, I don't know. It's amazing. It really is amazing. But shout out to the Bulls and shout out to the Pelicans for keeping us on our toes. Because you're right, that is pretty shocking.
656 ESPN 656-3776 is the telephone number on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. I want to hear from some UT fans, UT alums in particular, on their thoughts on the Eyes of Texas report. What came out today, your reaction to it? I'm very curious to know. As a Longhorn T-shirt fan, my feeling's different than somebody that went to the school. RJ's an Aggie. So, So we want to hear from you. 656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll take your calls as we continue here on the Blitz. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Whether it's you, a family member, a friend of yours, you get arrested, somebody you know gets arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. A lot of reasons for that. And you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, while it might sound good, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. Of course, they are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. You look at AA Best Bail Bonds. Offices all over, up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, everywhere in between. License number 149. Call them 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
Getting ready for the hangover without the headache. The Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and Jack Thompson. Saturday mornings 9 to 11. 1250 ESPN San Antonio. 94.5 FM. And on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
At CDW, we get that a cyborg assistant won't make your employees more productive from home.
Please, call me Brian. I can vacuum your dog.
That's great. But at CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo client.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. For a limited time, you can get a queen-size premium MyPillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. I'm also going to give you deep discounts on all my MyPillow products.
Go to mypillow.com and click on the radio listeners square and use promo code SKY, SKY, for this amazing special. Or call 800-635-1825 and use promo code SKY.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. Taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix?
Yeah, the patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels.
Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, and by the way, she'll like it too. Text CAR to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Text CAR to 42424 and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Absolutely free. Text CAR to 42424.
The Eyes of Texas played at Longhorn games around UT seemingly forever, certainly for as long as I've been alive. And it wasn't until this past football season that I heard any controversy about the song. Now, that's just me. Apparently, there's been other times in the past that I was unaware of where people had challenged the origins of the song being based as a racist song. So, this past year there at UT, they put together a commission to study the origins of the song and try to figure out what the university should do with the song. Should they continue to play the song? Well, they put together a report and they released the report today. And quite honestly, RJ Ochoa, I don't know if they really accomplished anything with the findings of this report. They said the song was first performed in 1903 at a minstrel show by white singers in blackface, but at the same time say the committee believes there is no racist intent. I don't know how you can have one without the other, to be quite honest. Now, I don't look at the song and view it as any way offensive, me personally, but I can understand if that's the origins of the song. Do you own that? Yes, the origins, that event, that was racist, but the song itself is okay. It's quite the tightrope that UT is walking with this. They say no direct connection found to Robert E. Lee, and most importantly, no UT student is going to be forced to sing the song if they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, this does feel like the university's trying to have an answer that appeases everyone, right? Well, yeah, I mean, it was founded at this time. Yeah, we don't think it represents this. I mean, so that literally everybody who has some sort of thought or opinion on this can feel like they win in that particular, vacuum. But I think the bigger point there is that they didn't what is different? Nothing is different about this. I mean, this conversation, at least, this changed nothing. I mean, this just was a waste of time as far as improvement is concerned.
Well, what I'm curious of is if you went to UT, and this is where I feel like you have to have some skin in the game to to really understand. Were you forced to sing the song? I mean, I know you went to Texas A&M, and there are a lot of traditions at Texas A&M that you are forced to adhere to, especially while you are going there. And most people continue those traditions long after they have graduated or left Texas A&M. If being forced to sing the song was a part of the tradition I'm unaware of, all right, so maybe there is progress now. You don't have to sing it. Were players required to sing the song? What I don't know is, all right, do you have to stay on the field while the song is being performed with your horns up? You just don't have to sing. Or are you allowed to leave, in which Sam Ellinger was alone that one time? I mean, where's the happy medium, the give and take? Is it going to be, Steve Sarkisian can say, this is the requirement for my football team, this is what we are going to do, and as a football player, you have to do that, but you don't have to sing. Shaka Smart, how's he going to handle his basketball team? How's the baseball and softball coaches going to handle it? Is each individual coach allowed to make their own rules for their own teams?
See, I mean, just from a logistical standpoint, that's a nightmare, right? Because then you've got, the baseball team's doing this and the soccer team's doing that and the swimming, you know what I mean? Why do we have to do this when they don't have to do it? Why do they get to do this? Why do they not get to do this? I mean, whatever. I also think I think this, all you're doing is you're taking something that was a very, very polarizing national debate with regards to the anthem, and all you're doing is recreating it in your own university's bubble, so to speak. And you're just changing the terminology, right? Instead of the anthem, it's the fight song. And so I think in that sense, requiring anything will upset somebody, right? I mean, somebody's going to say, well, no, I mean, yeah, you're saying I don't have to put the horns up, but what if I don't even want to stand? What if I don't even want to be out there? Where, and most importantly, why? Why is anything required of anyone in that particular moment?
And that's a great question as well. I think about it, the academies, one of the coolest things about playing for the service academies is you do sing. And when you say you have the Army-Navy game, you want to sing second, and the respect and tradition of the game, say after Navy beats Army, the Army football team, West Point. They're over by their band. The school song plays, they sing, and Navy stands behind them. And then, when they're done, then they run over, and then Navy gets to sing second. That's a part of it.
But you said you want to sing. You know what I mean? Like in that moment, you want to sing. So like it's your own will and drive. Like what if somebody doesn't want to?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Say UT goes and wins a national championship under Sark's first year. That song is playing.
I'm sorry.
it's gonna happen, man. UT and the Dallas Cowboys are both gonna win championships next year.
Okay.
You don't buy that? What if I told you NHL is back on ESPN? Would you buy that?
Oh, my Boston Bruins, baby! I'm super pumped. But yeah, why does anything what is it to anyone what anybody does like during the song? Like, why does anyone have to do anything?
I think it's tradition, and some people didn't want a tradition taken away. Other people did. And I think UT did some pretty good gymnastics here on a tightrope to try to make everybody happy in a situation in which you can't make everyone happy. I saw a quote from the UT president. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm paraphrasing. But on some of the donor letters that came out over the last week or so, what was said was, yes, there were some of those emails, but those weren't the types of donations that are driving the university. So I and again, even an answer like that is walking a tightrope. What UT has done here is a masterclass in PR crisis management.
I would disagree in that, like, I don't think they've managed anything. Like, all they have done is just like rotate everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've just like shifted everything 1 degree. The problems are still the same.
I mean, the problems are still the same, but what they have done is they told the student athletes last football season, we're going to look into it. This is what we are going to do. And we're going to come to some sort of an agreement based on whatever we find in this report and this study. They didn't just blow it off and do nothing and say, that's the way it is, pay your tuition bill, and make sure you make donations long after you've graduated. So in some ways, I mean, they went through the process, but the results of the process and how they are trying to couch and frame everything, I think to your point, there wasn't a problem solved. But I go back to, they were never going to do away with the Eyes of Texas as the school song. I don't think, no matter what that report found, they weren't going to do away with what that with the song. Change the name on a building, take a couple of statues away, put a couple of statues up. They have done a lot of things there at the university, but the Eyes of Texas was never going to change, and I think we all knew that.
A bit of a sidebar here, but staying in the world of college athletics, a few weeks ago when that E60 came out on Manti Te'o, I watched it and it was super fascinating. And something like, I mean, I knew this, but they interviewed the crisis guy, right? Like the guy that's like, when you're dealing with like a disaster, that's the dude who you call, like that's the red phone, and he shows up and says, tell me everything and I'll figure out the plan of action. And like, I just thought like, man, what? And like the guy had worked on like all sorts of presidential like moments and things like that. Like that's pretty nuts. Like that's got to be a wild line of work.
Well, I mean, again, you got to have a calm head. And what's the right way to phrase stuff when it's all hitting the fan? What's the right way to say we care and there's compassion and this is what we're going to do to not fix a problem that you might have? And again, it's very polarizing because I don't think many people look at the UT fight song and think, well, that's racist. It's not like looking at a particular state flag that got changed recently and you look at that and go, yeah, you can't do that anymore. You can't have the Confederate flag on the General Lee anymore and drive it around town. I mean, I think there's some things that we all can identify with. Yeah, you can't do that. I don't think anybody looks at the Eyes of, or most people don't look at the Eyes of Texas and have those same kind of thoughts, or you see that and you go, yeah, what was acceptable in the 70s probably isn't going to work now. Like the Dukes of Hazzard would never fly in today's world. But then again, I don't know that the Jeffersons or Archie Bunker would either. I mean, you grow and evolve, but you can't ignore what was then either.
So do you think that, getting back here, that this problem, quote unquote, this PR problem for the university goes away? Because I don't. I feel like everybody's going to say, okay, well, how are you going to make me happy?
I think it's going to boil down to what do the football players do in September? What does the basketball team do this week at the tournament? What does, and I say that, I mean, quite honestly, I don't know what the basketball team has been doing all season. I don't know, quite honestly. I mean, I've watched a handful of UT basketball games. I couldn't tell you what they're doing at the end of the game when it comes to the song. I mean, it is, in some ways, kind of like, when Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for the national anthem, it was a story and then it wasn't, unless you were looking for it, unless, I don't know what they're doing. I honestly, and until football comes back around, I don't know that we will. I did mention the NHL back on ESPN. It's being reported that Gary Bettman, the worst commissioner in all of sports, has righted one of his biggest mistakes when he decided to pull and off of ESPN and go with a quote unquote more lucrative deal on TVs that nobody watched. Apparently, it's a 7-year deal. The ESPN is part of it. They're also going to get 3 Stanley Cups. Barry Melrose, the happiest man in 2 countries right now. He's got himself a gig for a long time.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that there are some Peacock-related NHL things. Peacock has everything now, dude. Peacock has all the sports.
And ESPN Plus. I mean, I've been watching some New Jersey Devil games on ESPN Plus.
Who are they?
One of my favorite hockey teams.
Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for. There we go. One of the 6.
Hey, well, there's 3. There is the New Jersey
Devils. There's at least 4. There's the Devils. Dude. There's the Stars. There's the Predators, and there's the Knights. Those are the 4.
Well, all right, and look, pretty soon we're going to add the Seattle Kraken just because I love their name and their logo when they start playing. Let's be clear. I root for the Devils and I root for the Stars. You got your East and your West. I went to a game in Nashville, and I told you it was an incredible experience. They were playing the Stars in the playoffs. Yeah, I got the free T-shirt that they gave us. And then Vegas, seeing what they did in their first year with a bunch of cast-offs was incredible. And again, you go to Vegas and you watch a game, you can have fun in an environment and not necessarily be a fan of the team. I don't own any Vegas gear. I've never bought anything from Nashville. I do have the free T-shirt that they gave out at the game, though.
Quick question. If you were to go to a Philadelphia Eagles game and a Cowboys-Eagles game and they were giving out shirts, would you retain said shirt?
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to wipe the toilet with something. I mean,
wow. You wouldn't.
I mean, you're right. I probably wouldn't. But let's just say if I was in, say I'm in Indianapolis and I go to a Colts game and they were giving out shirts, would I wear the shirt? Probably not. Would I use it to armor all the tires? Maybe. Clean the toilet? It's possible. Have it as a, that wouldn't even be a grass cutting shirt. Unlike RJ Ochoa, who buys jerseys from every game he goes to and puts them up of the Stars, including the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, Jason, here's my question.
No comment on that.
Do you have ESPN Score Center alerts for the Predators or the Knights?
No.
Do you have them set for the Stars? I know you've got them set for the Devils, but do you have them set for the Stars?
I do not have them set for the Stars or the Devils.
Wow.
Or the
so
Astros.
You're not even a true Devils fan.
No, I don't have score. I don't have score alerts set for anybody.
Wow,
because
not even a sports fan, this guy.
They drive me nuts because you know what happens is the alert comes about, I don't know, a minute after, and I'm watching the game. I don't need the alert.
A minute after? What kind of historic take is this? The alert comes like the second after with the full box score.
Yeah, but I'm watching the game. I don't have Spurs scores alert. I don't have any score alerts on my phone.
I have seen your phone light up like a Christmas tree on many occasions with all kinds of stupid alerts. You're telling me you can't manage to have score alerts for your favorite teams?
I don't get alerts on my phone like that. You know that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the Preds are thrilled that you're part of the crew. And at least I'll give you the Preds that you have a shirt. Like that will tie somebody to a fan base for a long time, like a free gift. The Knights is like a pure bandwagon jump. Like I respect that you have like all these inclinations, but I wish you could be like me and have a true tie to a team like I do, the Boston Bruins.
And tell
I thought
me that
it was
tie
the Colorado
again?
Avalanche.
Well, it used to be, and then it became Boston.
I've never been to a Colorado game. I've been to a Boston game, and it was an incredible comeback against Minnesota. So, like, I've been to an amazing Boston Bruins game.
Who is Minnesota?
The Wild. Get the hell out of here.
And weren't you trying to find a shirt or something at their arena, or when we were walking around that ridiculous mall at the Super Bowl? You were trying to find. Yes, you were.
We didn't even go to their arena. We went. Oh, we did go to.
We
their
did
arena
go to
for
the
a media
arena.
night. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
True.
we did. Yeah, and you were looking for a shirt.
I was not looking for a shirt.
You
You and Rob were looking for everything else other than the players. I was looking for the players, not the shirts.
We were trying to find the best dive bar we could find, and in Minnesota, it was this wonderful place called Grumpy's. And when you're in 9-degree weather, it was appropriately named.
That's very true, but not as cool as Montana's home of the best wings I've ever had in the state of Georgia.
Montana is in Atlanta. That was one of the more interesting dive bars in the world. That is for sure. Let's talk about Dak Prescott when we come back. He's got a new deal. What does that mean for the expectations of the Dallas Cowboys? We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz.
Hoops and Hype, the post-up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson, a basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The post-up, Fridays at 7 after the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Did you wake up this morning feeling good? I did. I've been a part of the Institute for Functional Health for the last 18 months or so, and it's literally the best decision I've ever made. Down nearly 40 pounds now, walked in there 300, and it's still on my way down. This is a lifestyle change, but I tell you what, the medical benefits have been extraordinary, but just my general way of life, my goodness, no more aching joints. I'm sleeping all night long. My food, man, I enjoy the food I'm eating. I've learned how to eat and what to eat from Dr. Torres, because what he did is he put together a program only and specifically for me, not off the rack for others. This was made for me, using my biology, using my genetics, using everything involved to help me live a healthier lifestyle. And certainly losing weight has been a great part of that. I want you to call Dr. Torres today, 210-468-1891. Speak with him. It's a free consultation. You'll find out what I know. Check out their website, iffhealth.com. Call the Institute for Functional Health. Get on a road to wellness. Get feeling better, losing weight under the supervision of a medical professional. Call the IFH today. Talk to Dr. Torres. I'm sure you'll thank me later.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrell Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrell, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
When you post your first job for free on LinkedIn Jobs, we search a network of over 700 million professionals so you can find the quality candidate you need quickly. Marketing wizards? Found them.
Software engineers?
Found.
That project manager I could never seem to hire?
And found. How? Well, LinkedIn Jobs matches your roles with candidates with the right skills and experience and puts your jobs in front of them. So, looking for an easier way to make that next hire? You found it. Post your first job for free and get started at linkedin.com/entertainment. That's linkedin.com/entertainment. Terms and conditions apply.
These days, more and more women are asking for fancy shaped diamonds. Ovals, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ashers, marquise, heart-shaped, pear-shaped, emerald cuts. All very popular this year. And no one has more of these special shapes than Diamonds Direct. In fact, we've just increased our selection of these beautiful stones with sizes ranging from a half carat up to 10 carats. And while other jewelers will try to tell you these fancy shapes cost more, the fact is, as you'll learn at Diamonds Direct, fancy shaped diamonds should always cost up to 20% less than the same size round diamond. Plus, in many cases, a fancy shaped diamond will have a larger face and appear bigger than a round diamond with the same carat weight. So, with a fancy shaped diamond, you can get a bigger look for a lower price and have a diamond that stands out from the crowd. Come to Diamonds Direct and get the facts about fancy shaped diamonds, see the largest selection, and get the guaranteed best price. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Cantera.
Prescott's new deal mean for Cowboys expectations? It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. RJ Ochoa in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. RJ Ochoa, rock the mic champ. Appreciate you sitting in the last couple of days. He also runs bloggingtheboys.com. Another rock the mic champ, Michael Jimenez, will be in Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's why we do rock the mic, build the bench, go from there. What I find interesting with Dak Prescott getting his deal is, every year in March, Cowboys are a Super Bowl team, right? But yesterday,
true.
I don't think many looked at it that way. This morning, watching all the shows, he's got his new deal. Cowboys have to go win a Super Bowl now to justify it. And I was thinking about that, going, well, other than him signing a new contract and solidifying that he's going to be the Cowboys quarterback for the next 4 years at the very least, has anything really changed? He was still going to be the quarterback in September, even if he was on the franchise tag, which technically he did get today as a formality. But, he was still going to be the quarterback this coming season. But watching all the shows today, whether it was Get Up or Stephen A. or Fox or Good Morning Football, I mean, all of it. I mean, why does him signing a mega deal all of a sudden say, well, now they've got to go win the Super Bowl to justify it? And I was thinking about that with, Deshaun Watson signs a massive contract in September, and I don't recall anybody saying, well, yeah, they got to go win a Super Bowl now to justify that. Why is it different for Dak Prescott? Or is it just because you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you're America's team? That comes with the territory year in, year out, with or without the contract.
I think that's it. I mean, I think that expectations are higher, expectations are different, whether that's right, wrong, fair, and different. It's just the way when it's the Dallas Cowboys, right? And I think I think that particularly with the fact that Dak won, right? Like, that's all the verbiage we're hearing. That's the talk. Dak won, Dak beat him. Okay, well, if you beat him, you must have, felt the way you did for a certain reason. Now go prove it to everybody, right? Every Cowboys fan that didn't believe in Dak is today they have said some version of, I still don't believe in Dak. He's a dud. He's whatever. There's a Twitter account that trolls us all the time. Its handle is literally Dak the Dud. But fine, the Cowboys are stupid. I just hope it works out. I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to say I'm, whatever, but I hope he proves me wrong. That's what all the idiotic takes are today. And that's it.
It is interesting because, this offense is still going to have to go score a bunch of points, but that hasn't really been that big of an issue consistently when Dak Prescott has a healthy offensive line. I mean, even last year without a healthy offensive line to start the season, we all know the issues that they had on the offensive line with Collins and Tyron Smith, yet they were still able to score some points. Defensively, they couldn't stop anybody. But Patrick Mahomes loses a couple offensive linemen, all of a sudden he looked mortal in the Super Bowl, even though some of his plays in that Super Bowl were anything but without an offensive line, you can't get things done. So I look at, okay, you've got your quarterback done. You've got all the skill position players you need, except from, depending on where you want to rate your tight end. Draft is coming up. If you stay at number 10, do you go with a tackle? Do you go with Slater, who had his pro day today? The kid out of Northwestern, still talking about he can play tackle, he can play guard, he can play center, versatile, and he says he's the best tackle in the draft. And of course, I expect everybody to say they're the best at their position. But do you go that route? Do you trade down? I mean, what's the next step now for the Dallas Cowboys?
I know you are obsessed with the idea of taking Rashawn Slater, Penei Sewell at 10 overall. I mean, that's fine. Like, I'm not opposed to that idea. But this is a team that needs help in the secondary. This is a team that needs help defensively. This is a team that needs help in a lot of places. And so I think in an absolute perfect world, RJ, what do you want to do at 10 overall? I want to trade down. That's what I want to do. I want to trade back. I want the Bears to come up. I want Trey Lance to fall. I want somebody to come up and be convinced that my pick is where they need to come up to. So give me an extra first next year, and I have a lot more capital, because now I need that young, cheap capital when I've got Dak Prescott making all the money he's making.
On Friday, we're going to talk with Virginia Tech offensive lineman, a tackle, Christian Darrisaw. They say now, he's, depending on where you look at him rated, anywhere from the third best tackle to the fifth best tackle. In McShay's latest draft, he has him going number 20 overall to the Chicago Bears. I could see the Cowboys moving down. You lose out on a Slater, but you end up with a Darrisaw, and I'm still staying with an offensive lineman in the first round of the draft. You look at what they have on the depth, and I don't know that I can count on Tyron Smith any longer. So I don't want to wait till I realize he is done to try to replace him. I just gave $126 million guaranteed dollars to Dak Prescott. I'm doing everything I can to protect him.
That's fine, and I can't argue with that philosophy. It's a fair one, but your best hope, right, is having Tyron Smith this season. Granted, he probably won't play the whole year, right? Like, that's fair. But if you trade back, draft J.C. Horn, and by the way, now I'm reaching the point where Joe Horn's kid is in the NFL. I'm not comfortable with this. This is
welcome to being old, man.
Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, I already had to cross that bridge with Antoine Winfield this past year, and I did not like it. I don't like this perpetual Randy Moss's son. Not cool, not fun. I don't enjoy this, but.
Wait, hold on. I'm a sidetrack for a minute. Because you're starting to feel old. You're celebrating your second wedding anniversary today. You've done a couple of years of high school football. I'm a little north of 20, and I have now called games for a father and a son on multiple occasions. I had lunch today with the great Gary DeLon. And you think about Gary DeLon, who's done high school football for 61 years. This guy has done dads, sons, and grandsons. But then again, he's in his 80s. So back to you feeling old. You got a great team. Is that some gray hair coming in? You might want to check that.
I look incredible and ravishing all the time. So I appreciate you pointing that out. But either way, trading back, and fine, go a number of different directions. And the more options you have, the more directions you can go. But this team needs a lot of capital in the here and now to build up the defensive side of the ball. And they really honestly need to attack this in free agency. There's not an offensive tackle that I really am keen on them going after, but there are a number of cornerback options. There are a number of, and there's no safety worth a first round pick, but there are a number of safety options. And smart teams attack their needs in free agency so as to not pigeonhole themselves ahead of the draft. There isn't a tackle. And plus, they have Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele. I know they're not supreme points of confidence, but still, they have options at tackle right now that are better. Right now, they have Trayvon Diggs and Anthony Brown at corner. They need a lot of corners. And so if people love to tweet at us and say they should sign Richard Sherman or Patrick Peterson and kick him out to safety. Why? Why kick them out to safety? Let them play corner. I know they're older, but they're still better than everything the Cowboys have going at cornerback. So go get some of those dudes, and then if you end up drafting one of these tackles, everyone will feel a lot better because you'll have depth everywhere.
Let's dial into your blogintheboys.com skill set here. When you look at the defense and who's going to be available, who you think is going to be back, who probably won't be back. Surprisingly, the Cowboys haven't made a bunch of cuts yet, but you got to expect them to be on that list here in the next couple of days. But how much does Dan Quinn and the kind of defense he runs versus what we shifted away from last year from Nolan can help some of the players that are currently on the roster? Because you look at whether you're talking about, down front, does Gerald McCoy get another crack at it this coming year? He was tweeting congratulations to Dak. And here's a guy who had a clause in his contract, and I'm curious what the clause is for Dak and his ankle, if it were to snap again. But you look at the overall makeup of this defense, but could Jalen Smith be back to the player that got him the big contract in a system similar to what he was in with Rod Marinelli, or does your hatred for Jalen just preclude you from projecting that possibility?
I hope that Jalen Smith is awesome. I really do. It is extremely doubtful. I at this point have more faith in you one day dunking a basketball than Jalen Smith ever making an All-Pro team.
6 foot rim,
so
8 foot rim, 10 foot rim.
I mean, I believe that either one, anyone. I have more confidence in that. The only like lotto ticket, I guess, like waiting on the Cowboys defense is Leighton Vander Esch, and some of that is like health related. And the only other thing that's like kind of hovering in the ether right now for the Cowboys is whether or not they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. And so if they do, that will show that they have some level of belief in him moving forward. But if they don't, then linebacker is in play. Then Micah Parsons is in play at 10 overall. And so all of a sudden you're starting back over at that position. I mean, I love Sean Lee, and if he wants to come back, I mean, I'm not like super opposed to it, but I mean, you got to move on. Like, and you know, this defense is like is designed or has been designed to where like if everything goes great, they're good. But if like the moment any level of adversity is something that challenges them, like it all falls apart. And it's like you're gonna face adversity. It's the NFL. And so they don't plan and prepare accordingly enough. So fine, you want to run this back with Jalen Smith, cool. But go get depth, go get other options, go get someone to challenge him. Because that's the other thing. Like Jalen is this dude that thinks he walks on water when he's really like 6 feet below it. And so you got to come in and bring somebody there to like humble him, because that might be what he really needs moving forward.
There it is. The hatred of Jalen Smith walking 6 feet below water, says RJ.
Hey, you can walk 6 feet below water. That's like an impressive accomplishment in of itself. I mean, you know, it's hard. Like if you're trying to walk at the bottom of the pool, like your body wants to float up to the top. It's hard.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you know, it feels like he was playing 6 feet underwater last year because he was a step behind everybody, as if he was walking in gallons and gallons and gallons of water, trying to chase somebody down inside the swimming pool. We'll take a quick break, come back, wrap up this edition of the Blitz. But first, let me tell you about my friends over at BSG. We were talking earlier, RJ, you know, who's a homeowner now down in the Valley, about all the cool toys that I have from BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. And you think about, you know, my AC thermostat, outdoor lights, front door locks, back door locks, garage door opener, my surround sound speaker system, all tied into one app along with my security system. But they also have a smart water valve that you can get. And again, during this last winter storm, a lot of people had pipes break, or you know someone that had a pipe break. And you know you don't have to have a hard freeze for a pipe to bust and flood your house. The smart valve from BSG goes on your main water line, and if it detects any leaks, it will notify you and turn off your water. You get the alert on your smartphone. The smart valve shuts down leaks before they can turn into floods, so you can stay ahead of water waste and high bills. Monitor your water usage and pipes right from your phone. You talk about smart home technology from a company you can trust, and you have that peace of mind your home is protected when you're not home. You're never going to come back from work or vacation to a flooded house. BSG of Texas, making smart home automation simple. Call 210-877-1222, 877-1222, or learn more online at bsgtexas.com/radio. That's bsgtexas.com/radio.
You follow your friends on Facebook and Twitter, so shouldn't you follow us?
After all, I thought we were friends, aren't we?
Never get left out. Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio, Twitter at ESPN_SA, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exocrine temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exocrine temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exocrine, where accuracy matters. Details at Exocrine.com.
Today on Hey Culligan, hard water hurts appliances. Go for Glenn in Glenview.
Hey Culligan, my appliances aren't that old and they're already on the fritz.
Sounds like your hard water might be giving your water appliances a hard time, but there is hope in the form of a Culligan high-efficiency water softener that helps extend the life of dishwashers, washing machines, heating systems.
Okay, hey Culligan.
Yeah, Glenn?
Yeah, hook me up.
Glenn, one high-efficiency appliance-saving softener already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Making popcorn for movie night?
Whoa, who are you?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless. What if every time you tried a new streaming service, you had to buy a new TV?
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, some wireless companies do that when you switch, make you buy a new phone.
Right.
But TracFone Wireless lets you keep your phone and your number and your network and gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month.
Seriously, who are you?
This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. Oh, you're burning it.
Oh, no.
See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
The U.S. supply of COVID-19 vaccine will be limited at first. Bexar County is following the recommendations made by the Texas Department of State Health Services. In Bexar County, 60% of our population falls within the first group. There will be more opportunities to receive the vaccine. We will keep you informed and ask for your patience in this process. It is important for everyone to continue to practice social distancing, wear a mask, and get vaccinated when it is their turn. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Do it for San Antonio. For more info, visit covid19.sanantonio.gov or call 311.
Professional arena football is back in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League kicks off their inaugural season this Saturday, March 13th, against the North Texas Bulls. San Antonio Gunslingers football at the San Antonio Rose Palace, just off I-10 on Burning State Road. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at sanantoniogunslingers.com. Be a part of the action this Saturday for the Gunslingers' first game. Get your tickets now at sanantoniogunslingers.com or check them out on Facebook.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. Spurs get rolling with the second half of the season tomorrow night against the Dallas Mavericks. You know, we spent some time yesterday, RJ, talking about the All-Star game, the viewership numbers, kind of like viewership numbers in so many different things, way down, 18% from last year. The NBA All-Star game draws a record low in viewership, averaging 5.94 million viewers, down 18% from a year ago. And again, you know, a variety of reasons why, you know, I'm sure a lot of guys lost control of the remote because of that Prince Harry, Meghan, what's her name, interview with Oprah, which apparently
her name.
I honestly, dude, I am not all into the Royals. I have no idea, but apparently more people. What's it? Meghan. Yeah. Isn't that what I said?
Her last name.
What's her
Meghan
last
Markle.
name? Meghan Markle. I did not know that. It's Meghan Markle.
Joanna.
Uh-huh.
You knew that.
Honestly, I mean, seriously. I mean, you know, apparently more people watched Oprah talking to those two than what the average NFL game got this past year.
That's pretty amazing. But, I mean, she's pulling in people from two different countries, to be fair.
Well, and you know, I mean, but again, I don't think our rating system covers TVs overseas.
You don't know that?
I'm pretty sure our rating system doesn't cover the TVs from overseas. I'm just saying it's kind of interesting though that you look at that kind of a drop when you look at the dip in the Super Bowl numbers this year with NFL games, and I still don't know how much of that is just overall how many people are watching on streaming that doesn't get counted in the TV number. Then you look at what the overall viewership is, but certainly for Adam Silver to put on a made-for-TV event that drew the lowest ratings ever and down 18%. I don't know how successful you could say All-Star Weekend was, except for nobody got COVID on the floor.
Yeah, it was super boring, super lame. Anybody who liked it at all is wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there was better programming on television at the time, but fix it. Give us something else. We want to make it a 3-point like tournament. Let like 50 guys be in the 3-point contest, as far as I'm concerned.
Really? No, that would be awful. That would take forever if that were the case. That would be awful. Is your dog ready to go outside? Is that what I'm seeing here?
He really is.
Your dog Bear, who looks freshly groomed, has been quiet for the most of the show, but it looks like he's doing the dance that says, "Come on, man, we got to go."
He is dancing. He's ready for the dance of March, by the way. Super pumped. I know I'll be here again next week, but I want to say right now, just again, Michigan. Believe, Jason. Don't be putting all this faith in Gonzaga for no reason.
Baylor, that's my faith. I know you're going to be back Friday for your regular appearance, but hosting again on Monday. Appreciate the last couple of days. Go enjoy your second wedding anniversary, and apologies to Cammie for making you work. We'll see you, boys.
The Blitz, weekdays 4 to 7, bringing you all the best guests.